football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Sonley, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
David Gocklin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Sonley, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Good evening, all of you fine people. Those listening live on YouTube, those listening via the podcast eventually, iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and also TuneIn Radio. We would like to say to you that we're getting started here because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
Dramatic pauses all over the place, but that withstanding, we are live. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website where you can find out about everything Pitch Talk. Also, you can find the mixler.com/pitch-talk link there as well to listen to us live, as well as the YouTube video links there as well. It's one of them ones. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. MySpace.com/Pitch Talk. PitchTalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to our blogs by yours truly, straight shooting LJA, the returning G-Man, the ever-present these days Jazzy Fizzle, and many others, including Russ Vernon, Mike Harniman, Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt, Dave Mear, aka at Mearsey, as well, and many more blogs. Also, Mike Harniman joins in with a blog from time to time as well, baby, as the American Dream Dusty Rhodes comes in as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with twisting and turning, and oh my, Arsenal through Nacho Monreal have gone 1-0 up. I was just about to say we're going to be doing updates on Arsenal, on Man United, the Arsenal up at Old Trafford, and Monreal has put them ahead on 25 minutes. Yes, 25 minutes. It is one of them ones. Arsenal lead 1-0 at Old Trafford on 25 minutes. G-Man, would you like to repeat that? I think he's gone off celebrating. He's down in his champagne, running around his house naked, which is not exactly a great mental image, but hey, it's one of them ones. But remember, I said facebook.com/pitch talk. Become fan, become friend, become member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. Also, Pitch Talk are on Twitter too, at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we're up to, and youtube.com/Pitch Talk for all the latest Pitch Talk videos, including Pitch Talk at the Capital One Cup final. We had a lot of fun last Sunday on Wembley Way, myself and Jezzy Fizzle as well. You know what? I'm going to stop talking in a second because we got an Arsenal supporting co-host here and a Man United supporting co-host here. So which one of you wants to go first and say hello to the people?
I'll go first. I'll say, you know what? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for checking out Pitch Talk at the Capital One Cup Final 2015 videos on YouTube as well. I'll also say it was very, very well taken goal, well worked goal by Arsenal for Nacho Monreal. And, you know, I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you very much. Good night.
Gerald's going. He's that annoyed. He's going already. He's leaving. He's leaving. The returning G-Man.
No jet plane required. And I know that I won't be back for the rest of the show. So, you know what? For all of those, shout out to my family, you know. Shout out to my brother, Face Marv. I was just talking to him before the show. Nothing but love to you. We'll talk later on in the week. Shout out to my good friend Sherry. She's probably locked in and locked on all the way over there in St. Petersburg, Florida. Shout out to my good friend Anna as well. Shout out to all my cousins. Yeah, shout out to all my friends. Shout out to the Pitch Talk family as well, because I haven't to include you guys in that, even though you're a unique social group in my life as well. Shout out to my enemies, okay? Shout out to my next wife. Shout out to my ex-wife. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everybody covered. So keep it locked, okay? It's Pitch Talk. It's with people for the people. It is the football talk show that pulls no punches, holds back nothing on opinions, and yeah, arguably the best football talk show there is out there. I mean, it's not quite Talk Sport, but Talk Sport. Who wants that anyway?
I was going to say, who's giving that argument?
I am going to say thank you very much. I'm also going to say goodnight. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1, and I am very, very upset. But enough about me. Over to the G-Man. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Oh, it's one each. It's one each, and Wayne Rooney has it.
Oh, I'm back now.
1-1. Look at
it. I'm back now. I'm not actually going anywhere. For all of you people that thought I was going somewhere, you must not know me that particularly well. I am not going anywhere. As a straight shooting one said in the warm up to the show, sometimes ever present, I'm back.
He's got Bender from Futurama. I'm back, baby. how Jesse, how can we miss you if you won't go away?
Are you trying to send me away?
No, not at all.
I'm trying to make it sound like I'm, that stepchild that nobody likes. But would you go
did Mike Harniman just say it looks like an own goal? Yeah, you might need your eyes tested on that one.
Have you gone to Specsavers?
Hey, Ray Charles gonna see that that's not an own goal. Oh, so there was one each. 29 minutes now gone. What a header. That is, in the words of Andy Gray, that is a super header.
Take a bow, son.
All right, let's not go that far.
All right. It's a good header.
Let's not go that far. Kerbal right on a mill strike one from Jesse Fizzle. G-Man, what's up?
Yo, what's going on? Yeah. Just to say hello, everyone. All the Skype family, Pitch Talk family, to you and Jezzy Fizzle. Great video on the Capital One Cup final.
You were there in spirit, especially with what Jezzy got up to.
I see someone getting some.
We were having some fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be back. I can see that the show's on fire as usual, and it's going to be some good times. It's good to see that they've got a proper match on a Monday rather than Liverpool. They got Man United.
You need to shut your face. So you had
a big game. So a bit of excitement there as well.
This is a quarter-final. This is a quarter-final, not a semi-final. Let's just remind you of that. Okay, let's go with that.
Quarter-final, semi-final, still a big game.
No, it's not a Wembley, so it's not a big game. Nah.
This guy.
No, I'm kidding. It's not as big as it once was, but it's still huge. Huge. I'll say that. See that much, baby. That much. Ooh, as that ball gets put into the box, and Danny Welbeck almost scoring against his old side. De Gea down low to his left. Well, one of them was. This match is interesting. 31 minutes gone, just ticking over into the 31st minute. Chris Smalling out jumped by Danny Welbeck. 31 minutes gone. Man United 1, Arsenal 1. Why
do I hear surprising your voice? Danny Welbeck and Chris Smalling, they're around about the same height.
Yeah, and their voices are the same height too.
Don't you mean like level, pitch, talk? No, anyway, never mind.
Same height because they got high voices. Because they get, I get high every night. I'm encouraging that behavior. You know what? Yeah, it's the perfect track underneath us. Eat my goal, so eat my goal. So, considering this is your Monday night footballing fix, we've had an OWR already. In terms of the American Dream Dirty Road, baby, we've seen 2 goals already because on 32 minutes it's Man United 1, Arsenal 1 up at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. The semi-final draw will be after this match around about 9:45, so we will get into that. But you know what? Yeah, before we do get into that, big time shout outs to a number of people. International Women's Day this past weekend, and that's going to be quite a big thread running through the show. Is Wojciech Szczesny at the second attempt manages to keep onto it. No wonder he's the cup goalkeeper. Anyway, Kerbal Ryan will strike one from him. But it is one of them was where, yeah, International Women's Day was this past weekend. And hey, it's one of them was the fact of the matter is let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. We got to have a few shout outs to a few people. Girls on the Ball, big shout outs to them at Girls on the Ball on Twitter and Facebook.com/Girls on the Ball. We will be mentioning them again later for other reasons as well. But they are our most recent Pitch Talk Meets guests that are up on YouTube right now. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk. We are Pitch Talk live on Google Plus. We are live on Mixler.com/Pitch-Talk. We are live on YouTube.com/Pitch Talk. So, without further ado, we will make you feel the bang. But it is one of them ones. Let's move on and groove on into quite a bit of results and analysis. It's results and analysis. It's results and analysis. Yeah. We always start with results and analysis, and it is getting a bit wrong in the Skype chat. By the way, big shout out to Mike Harniman's, I was going to say better half, but he might take that offensively. John Lewis to his other half, Miss Tara Moosley. What is up? Well, there was then a big shout out to, of course, Samir Sawney of Motivate Sports and Fitness. Big shout outs to Big T as well. Big T's been doing big things recently, so big shout outs to him as well. It is one of them ones, baby, where the American Dream back in the house wants to say that we're going to start on Tuesday, 3rd of March, 2015, baby. And we are going to start with Aston Villa, West Brom, the local derby. We are going to start with that because Gabby Agbonlahor opened the scoring on 22 minutes. Saido Berahino equalized with his head using his loaf on 66 minutes. And Christian Benteke scored a 94th minute penalty to give Aston Villa a 2-1 win. The first of two wins, two-time winners against West Brom this week. Hull City won, Sunderland won. And Dame and Doy opening the scoring on 15 minutes with Jack Rodwell equalising on 77 minutes. Southampton won, Crystal Palace 0. Saido Mane with the only goal of the game on 83 minutes. Moving on to Wednesday, 4th of March 2015, Man City 2, Leicester City 0. David Silva scoring on 45 minutes in first half stoppage time, and James Milner rounding out on 88 minutes with a cool, calm and collected finish to give Man City that 2-0 win and keep them on Chelsea and their tails, Chelsea's coattails. Newcastle United 0, Man United 1. Ashley Young with the only goal of the game on 89 minutes. Some unsavoury stuff, which we're going to come back to in a second from that match, actually. There's been quite a lot of fallout from it. But QPR 1, Arsenal 2 is the next one. Olivier Giroud opening and scoring on 64 minutes. Alexis Sanchez scoring on 69 minutes. And Charlie Austin getting a consolation goal on 82 minutes. Stoke City 2, Everton 0. Victor Moses opening and scoring on 32 minutes. And Juve equalising on 84 minutes. Tottenham 3, Swansea 2. Nasser Chadley opening the scoring on 7 minutes. Ki Sung-young with a quality goal from a narrow angle on 19 minutes. Ryan Mason scoring a quality goal of his own on 51 minutes. And Andros Townsend, quality goal as well on 60 minutes. And Gylfi Sigurdsson getting one more back for Swansea to make it 3-2, but a little too little, a little too late. But West Ham 0, Chelsea 1. Eden Hazard scoring the only goal of the game on 22 minutes to keep Chelsea, keep them up top, keep them with a bit of daylight up top as well. Liverpool 2, Burnley 0 with the live bird upon my chest. As per usual, this is the result I love the best because Jordan Henderson scored on 29 minutes. Rifled it on the half volley, but also Daniel Sturridge scoring with his head on 51 minutes, rounding out a convincing 2-0 win for Liverpool against Burnley, which actually could have opened the scoring in the first minute. One of them was them slick ones there, baby, involving Daniel Sturridge. You know what? That's Wednesday, 4th of March 2015 for now, and Tuesday, 3rd of March 2015 for now. I'm going to ask for G-Man and Jezzy Fizzle to jump in a second. But Aston Villa, big win, big time win, and the nature of it as well. It coming on 94 minutes. I mean, Villa have got to love it. Villa have got to love that because at the end of the day, it shows character and it shows that they dug in. And Ben Foster, him spilling the ball once and then trying to reclaim it, and he was always on the stretch. Stonewall penalty, it must be said. But Liverpool Burnley, very happy with that one, of course. I mean, it keeps us in that race for the chase with the top 4 positions, which is fantastic. But it's one of them was, I mean, a couple of absolute pick them out ones goals in Tottenham Swansea. It was absolutely nuts. But one of them was helping Tottenham. One part of helping Tottenham keep pace with the top 4 race as well. QPR v Arsenal, that was an interesting one actually, because on that very night, for part of the evening, I was with the G-Man and then ended up catching up with Jezzy Fizzle. And Jezzy Fizzle's mate that we caught up with as well was that was some funny stuff. I actually ended up watching Liverpool Burnley on a delay because of that. It was funny. I hate to cut a conversation short, as Jezzy I'm sure is going to come back onto. But QPR Arsenal, QPR unlucky to be perfectly frank. I mean, they had their chances just like against Tottenham, which we're going to come into in a bit as well. But speaking of not just unlucky, but the absurd. I mean, Newcastle could have had a penalty. I think it was Chris Smalling who almost gave that away, and it was that raw. How was that not a penalty? But the fact of the matter is, some really unsavory stuff that deserves
-5 stars. -5 stars.
Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse deserve that, but for Spitgate, as some people might say it, you know what? For Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse, when I saw this whole thing with them spitting at each other, it's like, what are you doing? It's like you're on some idiot thing. What is wrong with you? You know, it's one of them ones. I was thinking was this.
Hey, it's a disgrace. stuck his rack. Hey, he stuck his rack. He stuck his rack. He stuck his rack. It's black. It's black. It's black. It's black. It's black. It's black. Hey, he stuck his rack. Stuck his rack.
That's all you can really say in terms of the Evans Papi Cisse thing, and both of them have actually been banned for 6 games each, and deservedly so. But you know what? It's one of them ones. What would you rather be? Spat at, or it's 7 for Cisse because he had previously already served the ban, but he was given 6 for the spitting. So it's one of them ones. The only spitting that should be done is rapping on tracks, just like we always do here at Pitch Talk when we're looking to kind of have a bit of fun. But you know what? Hey, it's one of them ones. Papi Cisse, Johnny Evans, save the spitting for your rap careers after the game, or do what Ryan Babel does. Try and rap whilst you're playing. Anyway, Kerr right on no strike one on that one. But Jezzy, G-Man, you want to come in on Wednesday and Tuesday's results?
Well, I'll jump to Wednesday first, and I'll say, you know, the goal really was the main thing missing from Manchester United's attacking performance. And was there a fair amount of fortune in it? Yeah. People that I know, namely a good friend of mine from childhood, Mr. Van Chalk, he would say that it was a game smothered in jam in terms of Manchester United winning the game. Yeah, it was. But to go on to that particular incident just briefly, now I haven't actually watched the incident itself. I've read lots of reports on it, but I haven't watched it myself.
Haven't watched it. It's disgraceful. It really is.
But the thing that I will say about this, right? Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse, they're both seasoned professionals, right?
Seasoned, baby.
It's not as if they don't know how the game works, and it's not as if they don't know that now, probably more than ever, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of attention to off-the-ball incidents like this one, right? So they both knew that they were going to get into hot water for it. And on top of that, right, I know we say week in, week out, footballers are not role models, so on and so forth, right? But unfortunately, you know, they are looked up to by lots of young players. And, you know, to put it simply, it is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. The thing about it is this: it wouldn't have been acceptable at amateur level. It wouldn't have been acceptable at youth or reserve level, right? So what would make them think, in any kind of sense whatsoever, that this would have been acceptable as fully fledged professionals playing in the top flight in England in arguably one of the top leagues in the world? I really don't understand that, right? Now, my other thing is this. Personally, I want to see the book thrown at Johnny Evans for lots of different reasons, right? So he's a Northern Ireland international, okay? I've been to Northern Ireland several times, okay? I think it's a beautiful place. But one of the things that I do know, there's not that many camels there, if any, okay? He's got no excuse. No excuse.
Camels?
Yeah, because they like to spit. But my point is...
okay, what about camels' toes? Actually, let's not go into that.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're out in Belfast City... Anyway, no, the point I'm making, seriously, is that there's really no excuse for either one of them to have done that, and they deserve the ban. I think they have to, you know, have some sort of community outreach element to their disciplinary action taken against them. I also think, you know, they should probably go and raise awareness on TB, for example, because at the end of the day, as I was saying, it really is a disgrace. I think Didier Drogba said it best. It really is a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
But you know what? Yeah, for me, this isn't for me. Before we come into the G-Man, come to the G-Man. No matter how I say that, it's going to sound wrong anyway, so bugger it. Yeah, before we go to the G-Man, it's a case.
You could have just said that. That works.
Yeah, I did. Yes, please. I hope Mike's talking about Tara there. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, couple round and we'll strike one. But no, it's a case of, see, this is another reason and adds more fuel to the fire of why I think footballers should not be role models. Because How can you be spitting at each other? Why are you spitting? Like, as soon as I saw it, it's like, brethren, why you got? All I could think of was, brethren, why are you gobbing at each other? Why would you be gobbing at each other? I don't get it.
It's almost like Ainsley Harriott was there. It's like, why are you spitting though?
It's like, I don't get this. Like, why would you be gobbing at people? I don't get. I mean, personally, I'd rather be spat at than have my leg broken. I want to say that, because spit washes off a broken leg. You can't walk that off. You can't walk off a broken leg, and you can't wash off a broken leg either. So I'd rather be spat at than have my leg broken, because it's one of them ones. A broken leg will put you out for a year plus. So it's one of them ones. But just to add a bit of levity to that argument. But the fact of the matter is, as I said, some footballers, if they had a brain, they'd be dangerous. Not only would they be out playing with it, they'd be dangerous. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's utterly crazy. I mean, G-Man, did you want to come in on these results as well, including QPR Arsenal?
Yeah. I'll just continue where you've just finished. Just first of all, to commend the FA on their quick action and their approach to it. Because I believe 6 games ban, it is a good thing. And to both players, there was no distinguishing who started it or anything like that. They just, fairly, how'd you put it?
Where they punished uniformly and in a draconian fashion.
Precisely. Yeah. And to both players. And as you and Jesse Fizzle both said, there was no excuses for it. And also, they're professionals. In my eyes, they are professionals. They are professionals, but they are professionals who are role models. And my views on that. So it needed to be done, and they've done a big disservice to their clubs. In other words,
and the game in general, I'd say.
No, I totally agree with what the G-Man said there, and I think that's the thing that's lost. They've actually let down everybody affiliated with the club. So you're talking about fans, club officials, ambassadors, literally everybody to do with the club they've let down.
True.
Right, because you're looking at 2 illustrious clubs. Now, for Newcastle, it's arguably the most illustrious club in the Northeast, right? And then, of course, for Manchester United, it's one of the biggest clubs, most well-known clubs in the world, right? So in Johnny Evans' case, and this is why obviously I'm a Manchester United fan, so this is why I'm even harsher on him. But he's letting down people worldwide. Right. The thing is, it's hard enough for him to find people that are going to back him enough to say, yeah, he actually deserves to be in the starting 11. Right. On playing ability. This is the thing. I happen to think he's a solid enough defender, and he could, if he shows a bit of form, have a decent run in the starting 11. But here's my thing. So there's a lot of people that will struggle to argue that he should be in the starting 11 anyway. And then he goes and does something like that. And so now you're struggling to defend him being at the club. Full stop. You see what I mean? So I totally agree with what the G-Man said there. I think, yeah, let down lots of people. And as I say, in Johnny Evans' case, it's people worldwide, So now, if we look at, for example, sponsorship deals, and I know that this isn't something that is touched on, but how do Adidas now feel that they've signed this £560-odd million deal with Manchester United, and one of their players happens to, I don't know, have a saliva issue?
A saliva issue that he's gobbing at next people. Why is he gobbing?
Right. Maybe he needs some Pavlovian training, right? So that he's not salivating at the sight of another footballer and deciding to spit at him.
Maybe he just needs a clap in the face. I think a clap in the face would do it. When we were younger, what happened if you did wrong? You held licks. Simple as.
So
if I had been a kid and I had spat at someone, my mum would have hit the roof. She would. I'm not even gonna say what would have been done, but yeah, I couldn't imagine the punishment.
Yeah, she would have went Batman on you. That's all I'm gonna say. But
you go with the justice line?
Yes, I'll go with the justice line in a totally different context.
Oh, I would hope so, babe.
But yeah, you could enjoy that one.
I control the belt. I control the universe. That's what mums always will say.
Back away from the spice, Ainsley. Back away from the spice. But no, going back to my point. Even with the sponsors now, right, and any companies affiliated with the club, that is a major problem.
You know what? I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about bringing the whole game into disrepute because that's what it does.
That too.
It makes the game look bad when people do this kind of stuff. Speaking of making the game look bad, general talking points. We've got a couple more unfortunate examples, to be honest.
But you know, I just think overall, you know, the effects of this incident far-reaching. But anyway, G-Man, you were making your points. Back to you.
Yeah, Aston Villa game. But you know, I'm actually happy about Tim Sherwood's first victory there because I believe, like, you know, I like him as a person, as a manager, and his sort of not philosophies because I don't think he's done enough in the game to put out philosophies yet, but he's just seemed, well, to me personally, he's personable. You know, he's like a fan's friend. The way he acts on the touchline, you know, he's proper passionate, and I just love to see that from him. And I think, you know, Villa did deserve that victory. It was one that was a long time coming, and you know, they went on to do it again, as you mentioned. Also, just touching on basically the Arsenal game. Now, Liam said before, QPR, you know, could have potentially drew that game, potentially won that game, and that was so true, especially in the first half. QPR had a lot of chances, Charlie Austin especially, you know, causing some trouble. But you know, it's part and parcel of what Arsenal are doing lately is, you know, playing sort of rugged football, not that good in certain periods of the game, but they're getting their luck and they're, you know, getting away with it. And it's something that Arsenal fans, really and truthfully, we have been asking for. You know, not all stylish football, pretty football, you know, actually put in a defensive display and, you know, ride the luck at sometimes. And, you know, we won 2-1. And I've got to say, you know, I'm happy with those sort of victories. As long as we win the game, you know, it's never a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I hear that. No, I totally hear that. I mean, speaking of winning games, obviously both of your teams are in action. At the moment, it's Man United 1, Arsenal 1. We're gonna come back to that in just a second. But I think we've got a couple of things on the socials, Gav, haven't we? In terms of the Papi Cisse and Johnny Evans spitting scandal.
Yeah. First of all, hello _Noto01 has basically said a blessing in disguise for United's fans' defence, and that's touching on the point of which Jesse. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, can I hear you loud and clear?
I'll say, yeah, that's just touching on the point that Jesse Fizzer just made. You know, it's hard enough for fans to sort of, you know, want Johnny Evans in that Man United team in the first place, starting 11, and you know, some fans, and I've seen the tweets as well, were actually ridiculing him, just a bit like Glenn Johnson when he got injured that time.
Yeah, which I felt was very harsh.
Those memes flying around.
I felt that was very harsh.
It actually is. No player actually deserves that. And also, soccer coach 9078 has also said yes. Both players deserve basically their 6 games ban.
So I hear that. I mean, it's one of them. It could have been more, to be perfectly frank. I mean, I said Cisse's ban is 7 games because he had a previous ban this season. But I mean, Mike Harniman wanted to jump in on the Tuesday and Wednesday results.
Yeah, I'll start off with the topic that you're actually talking about currently, which is the Cisse and Evans incident, of course. And I think it's just ridiculous, really. You look at the fixtures that they're both missing. United are obviously fighting for Champions League places, and they've got a couple of injuries and all that anyway at the moment at the back. And Johnny Evans, he's going to struggle to get back in that team after the 6 games, with the likes of Phil Jones and Chris Smalling and co that United have got. He will struggle to get back in that team. So for him, that was just moronic on his part, because he should surely know, obviously, what's right from wrong anyway in the game. And he should also be taking into account the fact that he's not going to get back in the team, and he should know that.
No, I heard that. I mean, it was one of them ones where you got to actually gob at someone. You got to think what goes through someone's mind to spit at someone. I don't get.
But Cissé's got a 7-game ban, but I think he'll get straight back in the team. As for Evans, I think he's gonna have to work very, very hard.
No, definitely. No, definitely. I mean, what do you reckon on the other results? And also, what do you reckon of Arsenal Man United, the halftime result that we're watching today?
At the moment, the Arsenal game is going all right. It's not too bad. It's quite an even game, 2 evenly matched sides, as the league form kind of shows as well. Where it's only a point different in the league, so it's kind of what I expected.
What do you reckon the final score is going to be then?
2-1 Arsenal. I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
Yeah, you know them user rights and privileges.
Yeah.
I was expecting that, Jezzy. It took you a while. It took you to half time to say that. I was expecting it by now. So yeah.
See, now here's the thing, right? Just because you're egging it on, right, and you're looking for it, doesn't mean I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, I'm gonna mix it up. One day, randomly, I'll just be like, yeah, nah. User rights and privileges revoked. Done.
And I'll try and come on the Skype call, and you'll be like, what?
No.
How comes I've been
beep.
No.
Quick question for you, Jazzy Fizzle. What's your prediction for a final score for Man United Arsenal right now?
Well, you know what? We kind of broached on this subject earlier today. Shout out to the G-Man again, because he threw his prediction out there of 2-2. I think this one could be nicked 2-1, and obviously I'm hoping that Manchester United do it. But I also see this being a draw. So maybe, right, it stays 1-1.
I reckon 3-2 Man United.
It stays 1-1, but I'm hoping against hope that Manchester United nick it 2-1.
I said 3-2 Man United pre-show, and I'm actually going to stick with that because I was saying it was guaranteed goals in this match. And, well, we've seen 2 already. All we need is another 3, and then I'm right.
Just on the point of that, Liam, I think there could be a few more goals in the second half, because if you look at the 2 benches as well, we've got Walcott and Giroud to come on.
Yeah.
United have got Januzaj, Mata, Falcao. So there is some good players on that can come on and make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, but also both defenses are not exactly brilliant. So there's goals as they keep replaying the Ryan Giggs goal from '99. It's like, okay, how many times you want to replay the same thing? But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. Oh my god, I love that. Russ Vernon is like changing goalposts. Like he said 4-0 Arsenal pre-show, and now at half time he's saying Man United 1, Arsenal 3. Okay, I didn't know you could change midstream.
Russ, can you just not comment? Because the way you're saying it, we're going to lose like 3-1. So can you just be quiet?
Russ, I think your user rights and privileges have been denied, and not even by me. That's the worst bit.
Crap, that's a Libby.
Not even by me. Yeah.
No, that's a Libby. That's such a Libby. It's like, can you just not comment? That's a Libby. Oh, good gravy. You know what? Let's shift on. Let's shift on because in a shout out to Russ Vernon, actually. Fulham won, Bournemouth 0 from Friday, 6th of March 2015. Pittman opening scoring on 29 minutes. Ritchie scoring on 37 minutes. Pittman scoring again on 61 minutes. Matt Smith scoring on 66 minutes. Amor Brietta straight redded on 69 minutes, deservedly so. And Ritchie scoring on 71 minutes. And Cook on 84 minutes. Getting a goal of the week contender. Russ Vernon was the one who said to Pitch Talk, was like, yeah, but there's a goal of the week contender in Fulham v Bournemouth. But Fulham v Bournemouth, Jamie, what happened there, dude? What happened there with Fulham 1, Bournemouth 5? What happened there? And he's gone dark. He's gone silent.
No comment. Mr. Bailey is not available for comment.
Kerbal Ralliman strike 1. His PR team has gotten on to us and he's not available for comment. All right, well, in the interest of time, let's shift on to Saturday, 7th of March 2015. We got QPR 1, Tottenham 2, the Premier League's only game in a curtailed match of the day that night as well. Harry Kane opened and scored on 34 minutes, scored again on 68 minutes, and Sandro scoring against his former club on 75 minutes. Too little, too late, but QPR were actually quite unfortunate with this, actually, because Boy, Lloris looked a little unsure, but it was one of them ones. One of them was QPR can count themselves a bit unlucky, to be perfectly frank. In the FA Cup quarterfinals, Bradford 0, Reading 0. And Aston Villa 2, West Brom 0. Matches that were in the match, especially the Aston Villa one that we were doing updates on. Fabian Delph opened the score on 51 minutes. Claudio Jakob was sent off for a very, very harsh second yellow on 80 minutes. And Jack Grealish was sent off for simulation on 93 minutes after Scott Sinclair had scored on 85 minutes to put that game to bed. Moving on to Sunday, 8th of March 2015, Liverpool 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Not a great deal to report in this, apart from Liverpool were actually a very, very, my boys were lackluster. But after 4 games in 10 days, you're always going to get that against the Blackburn Rovers side, who were set up to frustrate, and they played very, very compact. So it was one of them was you always going to get that. Rudiger Stead was there to cause problems in the air, but it's one of them you got to look at as the match went on, his influence started waning. So you kind of saw that one. But Bradford Reading was actually quite an interesting one because of both teams hitting the post. And it was one of them. That was a game that could legitimately have went either way. But at this moment in time, Aston Villa are the only team who, in an hour's time, are guaranteed to be in the semi-final draw. So that's quite an interesting one, and that was marred by a pitch invasion before the match finished. A mini pitch invasion, and then a pitch invasion when the match finished. It was just utterly stupid. And why would you invade? Firstly, why would you invade the pitch anyway? And secondly, why would you invade it before the match is even done? But there have been a few reports going around that West Brom fans were throwing chairs around. So it looks like both teams are going to end up getting reprimanded. Aston Villa have apologized to West Brom and apologized in general, but the FA are investigating it. Now, hopefully that investigation, unlike other times this week where they've said investigations, hopefully that the investigation will actually happen. Now, Fabian Delph has claimed that he was bitten by fans who were trying to kiss him but bit him. And it's like, okay, it's a very interesting claim. I hope there's proof of it. But apparently there were still West Brom players on the pitch when all the Villa fans actually invaded the pitch. And there's a vine going around of a particular linesman who was off. When I'm talking that linesman had pace, we're talking Usain Bolt. That dude could do wow, that linesman was like lightning. They're gonna start calling him the lightning linesman. I mean, it's one of them. We're talking Raheem Sterling, Theo Walcott fast. This dude had pace. The linesman had legit pace. But it was one of them ones where that linesman, I think it was a case of fear beats anger. So he was gone. He's like, nope, I'm not staying here. I'm gone. But it was interesting. It was interesting stuff. By the way, Ander Herrera and Raha have come off, and Michael Carrick and Phil Jones have come on. We're back underway at Old Trafford. Man United 1, Arsenal 1 at the moment. But Saturday and Sunday's results. Jezzy, G-Man, you guys jumping in?
Well, I think that Tim Sherwood, it might have been Russ, to be fair. And big shout out to him. I know I've been a bit harsh, especially, when I do my bit about let's all laugh at Leeds. And then we say, no, let's not all laugh at Leeds. Let's just laugh at Russ. And it's like... Yeah, no, that's not it. That's not what this is. Okay, because that's particularly harsh, right? But having said all that, though, right, I think it's worth just touching on briefly to say that Tim Sherwood must have heard what I had to say. He must have, because what did I say? I said it's much more pertinent, right, for him not to be pointing out the fact that, okay, you know, there's the crisis of confidence here, and it's obvious that the team aren't performing well. Well, duh, that was, you know, really obvious for anyone, right? And I did say that, and that maybe he should be working on fixing that, and then of course his team then go out and win the next 2 games. Do I have a lot to do with that? I think so. Should I get some credit? Absolutely. I think I'm being left out of the plaudits here. So maybe, just maybe, right, the powers that be over at Aston Villa need to send me some more honey. Yeah.
You did say Aston, right? And not,
I did say that.
Oh, okay, I thought you missed out the T.
No. Yeah, I think I'm owed some residual monies.
He's going for a job. So one of them was Aston Villa, you can't have Jesse Fizzle.
Well, I mean, if the transfer fee is high enough, right? And, you know, provided I have Monday nights for, you know, your Monday night football and fix, I'm good.
Nah, I hear that. By the way, we've got another thing on the socials from Brad Hicks. What's up, Brad? One of our regulars. He says spitting is wrong. They should have known that. I'm glad they have bans in relation to the Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse. G-Man, you jumping in on Saturday and Sunday's results?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple like Tom Woods. Bradford boring. Aston Villa, I've said already, you know, very good victory for them, and I think Tim Sherwood is installing his passion into Villa, the Villa players who, you know, were lacking confidence before, but you know, they actually look like they're up for a fight. The Liverpool game, actually watched that one with glee. Wasn't happy to see Skirtle get injured in the way that he did. It looked very scary.
Yeah, that concerned me. You can see from what I was tweeting, I was concerned. But apparently he's all good. He went to hospital on precautionary measures, so he was cool.
Yeah, but for me, hard as nails. He wanted to play on.
Of course, he's one of them rare breed. He's one of them rare breed of players who that legitimately you'd have to put a bullet in him to take him off. I've said the same thing about Jamie Carragher, especially in that Champions League final in 04-05. Five times. But anyways, I said you'd have to put a bullet in him to get him off.
Yeah,
I very much patterned my game after that. But G-Man, carry on, man.
No, but what I was going to say is it's interesting to see how Gustedes did cause so much trouble for the Liverpool back line, and it's going to be interesting to see them in the second leg, especially with you know, Blackburn really did set themselves up for a draw, and which, you know, if they're going to do the same at home with the home crowd advantage, would that play in their favour? So yeah, that's my line of thinking in the FA Cup over the weekend.
Nah, I hear that. No, totally. I mean, you know what? I love that. I mean, Mike Harniman, you want to jump in on the Saturday-Sunday results?
Yeah, I was watching the Liverpool game, as you knew about anyway, because obviously I had a couple of little bets on, nothing kind of serious, just like £1 on each one, all on Liverpool to win. So yeah, thanks for that, Liam. I'm going to stop betting on Liverpool again now.
What? I didn't encourage betting. I never do.
Anyway, yeah, I thought Liverpool were they were they didn't have too many chances. I thought that was down to Blackburn and the way they defended, and I thought Blackburn were the better of the sides on the day and could have won it. But I think at home, Blackburn have got a chance. If they partner with Gusted and Rhodes, I think they've got a decent chance of actually getting through. But saying that, obviously we know what Liverpool have done when they went to Bolton as well, so there's nothing given.
Hey, it's one of them ones. The only thing for sure is that nothing's for sure. So that's where I will say that. I mean, Kieran Riley, you wanted to jump on Villa v West Brom, the second of the doubleheader, which Villa happened to take.
Yeah, I was actually first thing I put on when I got back from the Wolves game was this match. I wanted to see what happened.
I thought you were going to say a Villa shirt. That would have been like, wait, hold on.
Definitely not. Good game. Watched it from both sides. The red card for West Brom was fairly decent. For a second book offence, it was a fairly bad tackle. But getting on to the goals, two fantastic, easy goals for Villa, to be honest, I think. But the pitch invasions, the two that they had were not needed. The one at the end I can understand, but the two they did through the match were not needed whatsoever. And I think a lot of you would probably agree with me with that one, to be honest. And the thing about West Brom ripping up the seats, that was just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need for that to ever happen at all. And the fact is, obviously, Villa are probably going to be in quite a bit of trouble from that, and they could be jeopardising their semi-final place that they worked so hard to earn. And David De Gea pulls off a save on 52 minutes. Man United 1, Arsenal 1. Alexis Sanchez having a deflected shot on goal after Chris Smalling fell over. Anyway, but no, I mean, it's. I was just about to bring that up. Mike Harniman brought up exactly what I was just about to bring up when Scott led Stevenage v Newcastle. I think it was in the FA Cup as well. It's one of them ones when Laird got punched in the face. So I mean, that could have happened. I mean, that kind of thing could have happened on both pitch invasions. That could have happened. I mean, the thing with Fabian Delph claiming that he got bitten. I mean, it's that kind of thing. It's nuts. It is nuts. And yeah, we have heard about a Watford fan at the end of the Wolves game who apparently was viciously attacked, and apparently there's a fund set up to actually help him out, which has raised quite a bit of money so far. So I'd like to say it's a good thing that's come out of it, but it's a bad thing that shouldn't have happened in the first place. But G-Man, did you want to come in?
I was going to say, without looking too much into the biting incident with Fabian Delph, he did kind of look like he liked it, the way he said it. He had a big grin on his face, and you know.
Maybe he likes that kind of thing.
You know, I don't know. Like the rubbing of the shoulders and the pinching of the bums and biting of elbows and that. But he said some player tried to take his boots and shorts.
Yeah, it's like okay. If it was a woman, you might have wanted to take her up on that. But anyway, only if she's of a certain age, and obviously legal age, 18 and up. Come on. But yeah, we know what happened with Adam Johnson and those accusations. You don't want those accusations thrown at you. But anyway, good gravy. And Fellaini, that did not look like a good tackle on Coquelin. I can't help but call him Coquelin. Coquelin.
Yeah, that is his name.
Sorry, can't help but call him Coquelin. Coquelin, you know. Oh, that's disgusting. You're a disgrace.
Wait, his name's Coquelin?
Stop saying. Oh my God, is that an order or a description? But anyway, curveball Rally almost track on. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that one aside. But I don't know what, yeah. But it's a case of those pitch invasions are never good. I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in as well, didn't you?
I did, Liam, because I saw the highlights of the Bradford and Reading game, and I thought Bradford ultimately deserved to win the game with the chances they had. They should have at least put one of the headers away, which they had in that game. Which I think when they go back to the JS game, which is looking likely to be next Monday, they've said because they wanted to, but that's only if the Notts County arranged to move the game this weekend back to Friday night. They've said earlier today. Bradford and the Football League are going to talk to Notts County about that. And in your game, Liam, Liverpool against Blackburn, I was talking to Mike about it, and I thought Blackburn thought they were going to get the winner because where they were playing and pressing, it looked like they were going to get the win. And more and more they grew into it. Well, even though you had chances, I thought where the chances will come in for Blackburn, I thought if one of them had got put in, it would have been a deserved victory for Blackburn. Overall, I thought they looked the better team. I just want to say, get well done to Martin Skir, to a bad injury that happened to him yesterday. And I just want to say from last week, from midweek, from the Swansea game, which I forgot to mention last week, Gomez is okay after his fall in the Tottenham game. Liam, forgot to mention that last week on the show.
Last week that happened this week. But anyway, let's go. Yeah, the Bafétembi Gomis situation was a case of where he did collapse during the Tottenham game, but it's apparently a condition linked to low blood pressure. But he's fine and he's back swinging. So all good there. But it's good. But it's good that both are okay. Let's go. But yeah, it is one of them ones where yeah, as I said, you've only got one team actually guaranteed in the semi-finals in the FA Cup, which is interesting, and also Tottenham keeping up pace with those in the top four is quite important as well. I mean, another game where QPR had their chances, but they don't want. But similar to Leicester City, they're looking for points, not plaudits. So that's where it gets interesting, because you need the points. But it is one of them ones where we do have in the house. I'd like to ask Mr. Ian Kerr, are you with us?
I'm with you in mind, body, and spirit, man.
I was gonna
Sounds high as a kite.
I was gonna say that almost gave me a flashback to the 60s, but I'm not old enough to have lived during the 60s or even been born during the 60s. But
if you can remember the 60s, man, you weren't there.
Gee, I like that one. That's a pretty good one. If you can remember it, you weren't there. But I'm gonna say I'm getting reminded of Van Hammer. I know Jesse will remember him. Was it Van Hammer?
Oh,
and then
really?
And then later on Buzzkill. Oh, and then later on Buzzkill in '99 as well. So, yeah, another two somewhat obscure OWRs right there. I was watching the Montreal Theory yesterday and earlier today as well, and also Kevin Nash's timeline of WWF 1995. So come on, I got crowbar a few OWRs in, but it is that time to say, oh, you didn't know? Ian Kerr's gonna tell you about A-League football.
Thank you once again, Liam, for serenading me with your dulcet tones. Now, every week it causes immense jealousy in my household. Now, let's move on quickly. Full round of games in the A-League over the weekend, and a couple of unusual results as well. Let's get straight into it. Friday night, Newcastle Jets 0, Sydney FC 1. No surprises there. Newcastle Jets still second last. Wellington Phoenix, however, on Saturday, they beat Adelaide United 2-0. Now, Phoenix have risen from the ashes. Well, they haven't really. I mean, they've had a pretty good season this year. They are now sitting second in the table. They're the only New Zealand team in the A-League. Oh, that's a whole other story, though. Saturday night, Melbourne Victory 1, Perth Glory 1. Now, that was a top-of-the-table clash, and marred, dare I say it, by an unusual incident where Keogh, the Perth Glory striker, was offside for the first goal, and the Perth Glory went 1-0 up. Victory came back to draw 1-1, and it was a tense game. It reminds me of the old joke, Liam. You know, the man goes into doctor's surgery and says, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam and a teepee. And the doctor says, stop it, you're too tense. Anyway.
I like that one, actually.
Oh, gosh. Right. The other one's the best, Liam. There's another.
You can't beat a classic.
You can't beat the classic. Sunday afternoon, Central Coast Mariners, they disposed of their coach during the week, parted ways. They have all kinds of different ways of saying it these days. Instead of saying sacked, or
Vince McMahon style, you're fired, like Gianfranco Zola after 10 games.
Zola, yes. How long was he there? About 8 weeks or something. Anyway, Central Coast gave their coach the elbow and they replaced him with Tony Walmsley, who incidentally I used to play soccer with back in the day, back in Tasmania. We were on the same team. Central Coast returned to winning ways with a new coach, a 1-0 over Melbourne City. Melbourne City, 7th on the table, again, out of 10. Anyway. Oh, dear. Then the last game for the weekend was Brisbane Roar 1. Nobody's watching because nobody's listening, are they? Because I can see a goal's just gone in. Anyway, Brisbane Roar 1, Western Sydney 0. Western Sydney still bottom of the table and loving it. Brisbane Roar, on the other hand, have made it into the top 6. During the week as well, there were a couple of Asian Champions League matches. And this week, fellas, as I promised last week, I have done my homework. I actually bothered to watch the games.
Yeah.
Brisbane Roar won their match, their first win in this Asian Champions League round. And Wanderers played against, team from China whose name eludes me at the moment. Isn't that terrible? They're coached by Fabio Cannavaro, and what a beautiful man he is.
Shanghai Shenhua?
Shenzhen might be. Anyway, Cannavaro, he is a beautiful, beautiful man. I mean, my goodness, is there a better-looking man on the sidelines anywhere in international football? Tell us in the Skype chat if you think there are.
Andre Villas-Boas. Them slick ones there. That's like custom
He's
made.
AVB. Look, he's a sharp dresser, but he's no Cannavaro. Let's be frank. He doesn't have those dreamy eyes. Anyway, they won. The Chinese won. Now, interestingly enough, the Chinese, I love this. Whenever the Chinese play in Australia, what they do is and pay attention, everybody who's listening along on Skype, because this is actually moderately interesting and amusing. What they do is, because they have very few travelling supporters, they go to the local universities and give away red T-shirts to all the local Chinese students, then get them on a free bus to wherever the game is. And so there'll be 3,000, and they give them free tickets to the game. So there'll be 3,000 Chinese supporters decked out in red, singing along, squealing and screaming and everything like that. None of them pay for the ticket. It is an extraordinary experience. I went to a game last year between Melbourne Victory and the same team when they were coached by Marcello Lippi, of course. And it was an incredible experience because the entire bottom section of the stadium filled up with Chinese people who, wearing the red T-shirt, who had never even heard of the team probably 3 hours earlier, got given a free ticket, and along they go and cheer along their team. So just think about that. Think about the potential there. You just round up all the locals who are of that ethnic persuasion and give them a T-shirt and say, come to the game. If they've got nothing else on, these games are all on after Neighbours been on television anyway. So they've got the opportunity to go along. So there you go. There's your Asian Champions League wrap-up. And can I just, in closing, gentlemen, I haven't even looked to see if there are any questions on Twitter, but just we've been talking about the pitch invasion, and I don't want to add to the controversy because I'm bored of it already. I'm just excruciatingly bored about the whole pitch invasion discussion. However, I went to a match in Italy and there was a mini pitch invasion at the end because the travelling supporters leapt over the fence. Now we're talking about 3 metre high cyclone wire fencing. Okay, so they leap over the fences. Security guards don't give a damn. They run onto the pitch at the end of the match and demand all the kit off the players. So players end up walking off the ground in just their undies. I kid you not. I could not believe it. The security guards didn't care. And they just, the ultras basically go and say, right, give us your shirt. And we'll have your shorts too and your boots, thank you. Socks, thank you.
Give me them boots. Give me them shorts too, damn it.
Just boggles your mind. So there you go. So that's basically a bit of a wrap-up from the A-League. We've got a few more weeks left in the season before we get to the finals. And then when we get to the finals, that's when we get to the pointy end of the season. It'll be squeaky bum time, as they say. It's a very interesting race. So we've got the top 4 or 5 are actually all within 4 points of each other. So interesting time.
No, I like that. It's always interesting when it's such a tight race as well.
Tight, like a tiger.
I was going to say we're talking squeaky bum time, we're talking tight, and this is all for a trophy that resembles a toilet seat, isn't it?
That's what they're all. I mean, there's a premiership plate for finishing top, but ultimately it's all about the big toilet seat.
And that's one thing I have never forgotten. It's emblazoned on my mind. It's like it's
toilet seat is emblazoned on your mind.
Well, I do need to go, so I'll be right back. Cue the ad break. Cue the ad break. But no, it is one of them where it sounds like it's all coming to a very, very interesting end. And that thing with kids being decked out in red and being given free tickets reminds me of what they used to do for WCW Nitro to basically fill up their Nitro TV tapings. They used to give away free tickets, and it's a great way of filling a stadium or whatever. But it's a case of a lot of it'll be kind of like what TNA had earlier, what WCW had when they were on the soundstage at Disney Studios in Orlando. You just basically get a bunch of casual fans. Some might stay and get interested in the product, but I just think on a general basis, it makes you almost like a circus attraction almost. But
look,
I think it's an interesting.
And I think circus is fine, Liam. But let me tell you another interesting story. You know the X Factor, right?
Yeah, I hate the crap factor, but yeah.
How can you say it? This is quality television produced by some of the most brilliant minds on the planet. You know,
I was going to say the only X Factor I cared about disbanded in 2002 and had and at one point had only 3 members: Just Incredible, X Park, and Albert. So that's all I will say.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so the X
wrestling
Factor, when they film it in Australia, they actually fill the audience with extras. So they're paid extras who go along and sit in the audience, and they are paid to cheer at all the appropriate times.
Okay,
I'm dead serious. I know someone who's an extra, and he told me one of his gigs was to go along and fill up the local theatre, and they would film X Factor, and they'd be told when to cheer, when to stand up, when to give a standing ovation, all of that. So there you go.
I know a lot of programs have done that over the years, but I think that's quite interesting. That is quite interesting.
How about I plug the podcast, the magazine, and everything else?
I was going to ask you about that, because that's infinitely more interesting than X Factor, or the Crap Factor, as I like to call it. The Thin White Line magazine podcast, and also the Thin White Line shop
merchandise
as well. Yeah, merchandise. What's it? Heard the roundup? Buy the shirt. Buy the shirt.
So thinwhitelinemagazine.com is the website. Go there and you'll find all manner. It's a veritable Aladdin's cave of the internet. You just start clicking on articles, and next thing you know, it's tomorrow. So lots of interesting articles on there. You can buy the magazine. The magazine is even better than the website. All right. So buy the magazine. It's dead cheap. We've got discounts aplenty going at the moment. 25% off issue 2, 50% off issue 1. Get them while stocks last. You can follow us on Twitter at TweetWhiteLine. You can follow us on Instagram somewhere, who knows where. You can get to like us on Facebook, Thin White Line Magazine. We've got a podcast as well. If you go onto iTunes and search for Thin White Line, you'll find us on there. We launched a podcast just the other night about the opening of the Major League Soccer season.
Yeah.
So get into that. If you want to prove that you know more about football than anybody else, listen to the Thin White Line podcast.
Nah, good stuff. It was
you listen all the time, don't you, Liam?
Yeah, of course I do. It's one of those. Hey, I can't wait to hear about the MLS opening as well. I saw highlights of Orlando against New York City FC as well, with Kaka, with Kaka scoring a fortuitous equalizer. It's like, okay, there was a lot of hype about Kaka scoring, but it was like, wait, hold on, that goal will probably dubious goals committee probably won't even be given to him. And it's like, okay. By the way, I must say the commentary on those highlights is atrocious. It is actually bloody awful, I must say personally. But on them ones, I'm not going to criticize too much. Watch the MLS. Gotta say. But
and I'll also just say, if they're looking for new commentators, we're available.
Well, you're down.
And cheap.
Just in comparison, yeah.
Just like the budget, cheap. Oh, by the way, 70 minutes gone, 7-0 that is. Man United 1, Arsenal 2. Currently the holders are going through to the semi-finals, but it was one of them the back pass, I think it was from Antonio Valencia, it was Carrick-esque, but didn't have enough on it. It's Carrick who has that telepathic back passing relationship with David De Gea. So it's one of them was just leave the backwards passes to him, Jesse?
What are you insinuating?
That Antonio Valencia is crap at backwards passes, and Carrick is the master at Man United of backwards passes. Remember, ask Carrick? Yep, we do. I know the G-Man's I know the G-Man's very much kind of, I know he's in the background somewhere grinning like a Cheshire cat. There's
nothing background about that.
That evil megalomaniac laugh. What's this, Danger Mouse? Or the Count Duckula? Richie man went on like Count Docula or Count Chocula. Or I was gonna say something. I was gonna say Black Dracula or Blackula.
Oh my goodness.
Them old Simpsons references. And now we go back to Blackula meets Black Dracula. Oh, speaking of The Simpsons, a big rest in peace to Sam Smith, one of the co-creators of The Simpsons, who actually passed away today. It's a real shame, actually, because I've been a Simpsons fan for 20 plus years, so I never had to crowbar that one somehow. But on that more somber tone, it is time for us to drop into the next segment of the show. As said, 72 minutes gone. Manchester United 1, Arsenal 2. We are doing score updates via Facebook, Twitter, and others as well. You know what? It is time for us to go into.
General talking points.
Wow, wow. La da da, la da da, la da da. La da da, la da da, wow, wow. As well, Beck goes off to a standing ovation. This is Monday night as they replay the goal again that has Arsenal in the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, this is your Monday Night Football fix. Giroud is on as well, Beck on the bench, and Cazorla nearly just scored. This is Piss Talk. It's a fantastic save by David De Gea, by the way, low to his left from Santi Cazorla as he tries to hound down and he forces Ashley Young into a mistake. This game is getting good. Just over 15 minutes left. Manchester United 1, Arsenal 2. What's that score, Jesse? Jesse, what's that score? By the way, there is someone who actually deserves congratulations, and that man is Jose Mourinho. Mourinho reaches clean sheet century in record time. Chelsea manager becomes the fastest man to reach 100 clean sheets in the Barclays Premier League, even though he's not playing. But as a manager, he's the fastest man as a manager to, I would say, direct a team to 100 clean sheets, because obviously he's not playing. But Chelsea's 1-0 victory at West Ham United on Wednesday maintained their 4-point lead over Manchester City in the race for the Barclays Premier League title, and marked Jose Mourinho's 100th clean sheet in the competition. Matches played to reach 100 clean sheets. Jose Mourinho is top. He took 185 matches to reach 100 clean sheets. Alex Ferguson took 214. Rafael Benitez took 222. Arsene Wenger took 234. George Graham took 265. David Moyes took 305. Martin O'Neill took 314. Steve Bruce 343. Sam Allardyce 357, and Harry Redknapp 380 as well. In terms of clean sheet ratios, actually, Jose Mourinho actually does hold the best. 100 clean sheets in 185 matches equals a 54% clean sheet ratio. Rafael Benitez is 45%, Alex Ferguson 44%, Arsene Wenger 39%, and George Graham 37%. David Moyes is on 32%, Martin O'Neill is 31%, Sam Allardyce 28%, Steve Bruce 28%, and Harry Redknapp 28%. So it's one of them ones that is actually quite an interesting one. In terms of goals conceded per match, Jose Mourinho tops that list as well, because 116 goals conceded in 185 matches, and Angel Di Maria is off. 76 minutes gone, Manchester United down to 10 men and a goal down as well. Very interesting. Wouldn't mind seeing that again because, actually, I think, he got booked. Oh, yeah, and he touched the referee. Okay, he grabbed the referee's shirt, and Michael Oliver was not happy about that. Hey, you put your hands on another person. Although the funny thing is, I think that was Monreal who had his hand on the referee's shoulder, so it's one of them, quite an odd one. But Di Maria has been sent off. He was booked, and then he grabbed Michael Oliver's shirt from behind, and and it's one of them was he got a second bookable for grabbing that. So Man United on 77 minutes, a man down and a goal down as well. Jezzy, how do you like them apples? And would you like to comment on Mourinho's achievement? Where's Jezzy gone again?
No, I've been here the whole time. No, I think it's a deserved red card. It is a deserved second yellow. Like, the thing is, you talk about the respect campaign, and honestly, that's part of the way you enforce it.
Yeah, zero tolerance, isn't it?
You can't go and put your hands on an official. And, as I say, for that, he deserved it. But I also think, that there's been some very interesting decisions in this game going both ways. I think both teams could have had penalties.
Man, the way he grabbed up the referee's shirt as well.
I think, Arsenal could have had Bellerin sent off. So it's a very interesting game in terms of how the decisions have panned out. Do Manchester United deserve to be losing 2-1? Honestly, yes, because the back pass was absolutely suicidal. I mean, okay, there was the talk from Van Gaal about how Danny Welbeck didn't score enough, and I thought it was quite interesting that he's the one to get the decisive goal so far in this game. And now, right, you can see the referee really stamping his authority on the game.
It's all far high.
But yeah, him pulling the shirt like that in such an aggressive manner, there was literally no need for that. No need for that.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I mean, it's a case of why I just don't get why you would do that to the referee. But hey, it's one of those. Hey, Angel Di Maria.
Life sucks, and then you die.
That's all I got to say on that one. G-Man, you jumping in on this? And do you want to jump in on Mourinho's achievement as well? Quickest manager to get to 100 clean sheets in the Premier League.
No, you know what? Hats off to Mourinho. Having done it within his 2 spells, and his records as a manager, the things that he's achieved, you can't deny the fact that he is one of the best at gaining results, and can only applaud him on that. But going back to the Angel Di Maria thing, I agree with Jezzy Fizzle and yourself. It was very stupid. I didn't even actually see the incident. I was wondering why he got sent off, and it was only a yellow card offence for the diving. But having seen that, you can't allow yourself to be touched as a referee, and you can't. If you allow one player to do it, then all players will start doing it. So it's a great decision by Michael Oliver.
No, definitely. I think he has done very well because at the end of the day, as you said, if the referee lets that go, the floodgates open and players start taking the mickey. I mean, you look at the diving thing. Diving is not consistently punished, so it's still rife. So it's one of them ones. By the way, in terms of Mourinho being the first manager in the Premier League, the quickest manager in the Premier League to reach that milestone. Milestone of 100 clean sheets. I mean, that is actually a fantastic feat, and it shows you that Mourinho knows what he's doing. He very much knows what he's doing in terms of a defensive coach and shutting up shop. He knows exactly what he's doing, and right now he's the best at it. He is the best at it, and those stats in particular don't lie. Mourinho knows how to shut out a game. Remember, I mean, Chelsea bored us to tears with their first Premier League, but they barely conceded any goals at all. They would go 1-0 up, and it'd be impossible to break down. So, It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Congratulations to Jose Mourinho. I might not like his public persona, but I can respect that he is very good at what he does. One of the best, maybe not. That's open to discussion. But he's a very good coach. There's no denying that.
Yeah, and I'll touch on that briefly. I also congratulate Jose Mourinho. I think, as you said, it just shows how good a coach he is for him to be able to do that in that time. And when you look at some of the other names on that list that he has superseded, shall we say, it just goes to show just how good he is. I also think, having said that, though, the other thing to point out is, he is, to me, arguably the best manager in the world right now. If not the best outright, and one of the greatest of all time. Because when you look at his record and what he has won, and the time he has won it, and where he has won it, my question to you is, who else really compares? There's not that many people that have a comparative resume.
So are we going
There
with
really
the
isn't.
line of who better than Jose? With all respect to Chris Canyon, rest in peace.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's more, he's the best, one of the best in the world at what he does. So very much more Chris Jericho. But having said that,
I thought that was the CM Punk line, the best in the world.
Huh?
I thought that was a CM Punk line, best in the world.
Chris Jericho kind of started it off, because his line was much more specific in that he would say the best in the world at what he does.
Oh,
But,
I thought you were gonna go with the memes. Chris Jericho invented that.
I will go a step further. I'd say that he's one of the best there is, one of the best that there was, and one of the best.
No. Let's not. Let's not be disrespectful
his
to the
trophy
Hitman.
cabinet speaks for itself.
Let's not be disrespectful to the 5-time former WWF champion, and that is Bret the Hitman Hart. The best
I'm
there
just
is.
I'm just
The best
saying.
there is, the
His
best there
trophy
was, and the
cabinet speaks
best there
for
ever
itself.
will be.
It's as simple as that. So it's not being disrespectful. It's a compliment. It's a compliment. I mean, the next thing I would say, in terms of his 54% ratio of a clean sheet, I mean, I know it's only 54%, but I would argue it's absolutely perfect.
Well, I wouldn't say perfect, but
No,
It's-
that was
it's
just
not-
a crowbar, another reference.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not Kurt Hennig. It's good, but it's not Kurt Hennig. I had to. As we see a shot of David O'Leary in the crowd. 84.5 minutes gone. Manchester United 1, Arsenal 2. G-Man, would you like to repeat that scoreline?
Manchester United 1, Arsenal 2.
Jezzy, would you like to repeat that scoreline?
No.
I didn't think so. But you know what, yeah, from the funny side of the game, and congratulations to the negative side of the game, and this is sexist chanting must be tackled, says FA after horrible footage. From 5th of March 2015, the Football Association is calling on fans to report sexist abuse at games after being shown disturbing scenes of women officials and staff being subjected to obscene chants. Footage obtained by the BBC shows Chelsea's female medic, Dr. Eva Carniero, and female assistant referee Helen Byrne suffering taunts during recent matches. FA board member Heather Rabatz described the abuse as horrible. She said it should not be tolerated. Adding, we are absolutely encouraging people to report incidents like this. The footage was taken at Chelsea matches against Manchester City and Manchester United, as well as a game in the Football League. This season, 25 matchday incidents of sexist abuse have been reported to the Anti-Discrimination Campaign Group, Kick It Out, and Equality Group Women in Football, WIF. We've got something to do with women in football, the WIF, in our grassroots segment coming up as well, so stick around for that. Last season there were just 2 incidents. However, a lack of evidence means no club or fan has ever been punished by football's governing bodies. Manchester City admitted a breakdown in communication meant the usual investigation process was not followed. Added a specific guidance on sexual abuse was introduced from the very next game, and the new training program implemented as Ander Herrera tried to buy a penalty there. Sorry, Adnan Januzaj tried to buy a penalty. He went down about 5 seconds after he was actually pulled outside the box by Nacho Monreal. That is a disgrace, and diving needs to be ruled out as well. But yeah, as I said, Man United said no complaint was made at the time, so any feedback of this nature after the event has to be referred to the police, which the club did within 24 hours. The Football Supporters Federation said it doesn't receive many complaints in relation to sexist chanting at games, although that isn't to say it doesn't happen. And that's a very important line. That's actually a very important line there. There have been a number of high-profile sexism cases in football in recent years. Sky Sports presenter Richard Keys resigned and pundit Andy Gray was sacked in 2011 for claiming that assistant referee Sian Massey did not know the offside rule because she was a woman. Premier League Chief Executive Richard Scudamore apologised last May after private emails he had sent to friends and colleagues were revealed to contain sexist content, and Northumberland County Football Association official John Cummings was sacked in 2014 for telling referee Lucy May that a woman's place is in the kitchen. Utterly disgraceful, to be perfectly honest. Carolyn Radford, the chief executive of Mansfield Town, says sexist chanting is a big problem. When she joined the League Two club at the age of 29 in 2011, the headlines were about her blonde hair and looks rather than her university and legal qualifications. I've had fans chanting abuse at me, she said. It's hurtful. Radford said such abuse was not widely reported because women are kind of made to feel they should tolerate it. If it was racist language being chanted at me, perhaps we would do something about it, she added, but because it's banter, so to speak, I've got to flip my hair and just accept it. Anna Kessel, chairman of Women in Football, said sexist chanting continued at matches because stadium safety managers and stewards were often not briefed on how to recognise and deal with it. That contrasts with the stated zero tolerance approach to racist or homophobic abuse at games. Sexism in football is so entrenched within the culture of the game to a point where racism is recognized as wrong, but sexism is recognized as just banter, said Kessel. Women don't have the confidence to report it, which is one thing we're getting onto actually, and features girls on the ball. This is the message that we're getting through our network. They are very reluctant to complain. They feel they should put up with it. Women make up 20% of attendees at Premier League games. The FA also says it's trying to encourage more women to get involved in football via several initiatives, but Heather Rabatz admitted more needs to be done to stamp out sexism in the game. The former Millwall deputy chairwoman said clubs, leagues and authorities need to take collective responsibility for tackling the issue. It's all about how we try and ensure the game is open and available to everyone, said Rabatz, the only female on the 11-strong FA board. How to report sexist chanting, by the way. The FA have a number, 0800 085 0508, 0800 085 0508, or footballforall@thefa.com. There's also the Kick It Out number, which is 0207 684 4884. 0207 684 4884, info@kickitout.org, or via the Kick It Out app. And you can also email Women in Football with any incidents as well, info@womeninfootball.co.uk. As said in the grassroots segment, we will be having an initiative that they have just started up, as this past weekend was International Women's Day. Now, sexist abuse claims at England versus Australia Cyprus Cup match. Claims that British soldiers shouted sexist abuse at the Australian women's team match during Friday's Cyprus Cup game with England are being investigated. The Football Association and Ministry of Defence are looking into allegations that a group of soldiers watching England's 3-0 win against Australia targeted Australia's 25-year-old defender Servet Uzunla. Two female England fans in Cyprus, who we know personally, said they were ashamed by the behaviour. Women in Football and the FA have told fans to report sexist chanting. During the game, Jodie Taylor scored a hat-trick to give England the 3-0 group win over Australia and the place in the Cyprus Cup final. The second of those goals, an absolute belter. But Rachel O'Sullivan and Sophie Downey, who are girls on the ball, as you well know, from us sitting down with them for a pitch talk meets recently, who regularly followed the England women's football team, said 10 soldiers from a group of around 50 harassed harassed Uzunla and the Australian substitutes throughout the match. They said they reported the abuse to the commander in charge at the end of the game, who apologized but claimed he hadn't heard any comments. We've been to lots of games before and we can engage in banter, but this wasn't banter. It was constant gender-specific abuse, said Sophie Downing. We weren't sure whether to tweet about it because it's the army and we didn't want to offend people. I'm a very proud English person and I'm very proud of what the army do, but I was ashamed of them today. Rachel O'Sullivan added one Australian player, number 6, Uzunla. They were harassing her over and over and over again throughout the game. They were making horrible comments, shouting at her, whistling. It was uncomfortable to hear. These are teenage girls and they were sexually objectifying them. One Australian fan who asked to remain anonymous added, this was a stunning one-off that I've never heard before in women's football. I said to the army sergeant, this isn't a complaint as an Australian supporter, it's a complaint as a woman. It was beyond the pale. He was apologetic after the game and offered to apologise to the players. Australia manager Alan Stachich told BBC Sport, things that happen in the crowd are out of our control, but if there were some inappropriate remarks, I think it's something the British Army needs to look at. Rachel O'Sullivan added one Australia player. So definitely does need to be looked at. And the tweets that Girls on the Ball sent out, great to have the British Army here watching the game in Cyprus. Pity it was marred by embarrassing sexist behaviour. It was serious enough that we felt we had to bring it to light and back up the other complaints made. We were cautious about speaking out about the stuff that happened yesterday, but came to the conclusion that it shouldn't go unnoticed. I didn't hear much. I heard some off-the-cuff remarks, but I was focused on how our team was performing on the pitch. We haven't made an issue of it within our team. It had minimal impact on the group. That was from Mark Sampson. But basically, the British soldiers are based near Nicosia and attended last year's tournament without an incident as well. A Ministry of Defence spokeswoman said behaviour of the kind described as totally unacceptable and is not tolerated in the armed forces, where abuse, bullying and discrimination have no place. We are investigating these claims, and if it is found that any UK personnel have fallen below the high standards we expect, then appropriate action will be taken. The FA said it would investigate the claims, but that none of the English squad or management had heard any comments during the game and that they appreciated the British Army's support. Stewards and safety officers are being briefed on how to spot and tackle sexist abuse in football stadiums in the UK after Equality Group Women in Football, which represents more than 1,200 females, contacted all 92 Premier League and football clubs about the issue, and the FA is calling on fans to report sexist abuse at games after being shown disturbing scenes that we mentioned earlier. As I said, we've got, not in the grassroots segment, but we've got a special feature segment up next talking about the Women in Football initiative that they have kicked off. But you know what? Sexist abuse of women, it's a disgrace. It legitimately is. You know what? It is one of them ones. It's worth playing this.
Hey, he's stuck his leg. He's stuck his leg. Hey, he's stuck his leg. He's stuck his leg.
And you know what? The fact of the matter is, I don't think I'm telling tales out of school here by saying that Sophie Downing and Rachel O'Sullivan, who are girls on the ball, you know, you've got pitch talk support. We know that you are both credible, and you're not just gonna shoot your mouths off and say something without proof of it. So it's one of them ones. And also, you have the support of Pitch Talk and the Pitch Talk family. People need to report this kind of thing when it happens, because football is inclusive, not exclusive. Football is for everyone: man, woman, child, hermaphrodite, gay, straight, yellow, brown, white. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is for everyone. Football is for everyone, and that is not just for now, that is for life. The crowbar and an OWR there. The fact of the matter is, we can't have sexist chanting at games, because, and also, you know what, looking at Eva Carneiro in particular, she's being sexually abused. She's receiving sexist abuse while she's at work. because she's Chelsea's physio. That is her job. That is what she does. So no one should have to put up with that at work. No one should have to put up with that generally. And I'm so glad. I am actually so glad that I am actually so glad that Girls on the Ball actually had the balls, for lack of a better term, to report it. Because at the end of the day, reporting is the first stage to eradicating. The more people that report it, the more attention that it gets. And the more attention that it gets, the more that the powers that be have to step up. I don't want to hear the FA saying, oh yeah, we're going to investigate, but we appreciate the British Army support. It's like, no, you say that if you find the people responsible for it, you're going to punish them. Because that's what needs to happen with ignorant people who want to chant sexist stuff. Punish uniformly and in a draconian fashion. That is what needs to happen. That is the rhetoric that the FA need to be coming out with, because it's a disgrace. People should not have to put up with that. It's one of them ones. And that's all I got to say about that. By the way, Man United have gone down 2 goals to 1. We're gonna come back into that in a second with the semi-final draw. But Jezzy Fizzle, G-Man, and any of the Skypers, if you want to jump in on this issue, I personally think that this is even worse, because the British Army, who are supposed to be defending people's obviously rights and privileges, they're going out and laying their lives on the line, but that doesn't give you the right to shout sexist abuse at people. I don't give a damn who you are. You ain't got a right to be doing that and making people feel uncomfortable. And why would you go to football just to abuse someone? What is wrong with you? It's like spitting at someone. Why would you go to football just to do that? That's what I don't get. But Jezzy, you want to jump in on this before the G-Man comes in as well?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think absolutely right. I think the whole thing is absolutely disgraceful. It needs to be said. I really don't know what more can be said about it. You know, it really is terrible, and you know, a lot more needs to be done. I think there needs to be better systems in place for the reporting of this abuse. You know, we have systems in place for racial abuse and so on and so forth. So this is something else that we need to look at. It needs to be said. You know, at the same time, we need to raise awareness of it. And I think if there is anybody else that heard anything or saw anything, you know, I encourage them to come forward and make their voice heard, because at the end of the day, unless people speak up about the issue, it's not going to be dealt with. It really is that simple.
I mean, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Once again, I've got to congratulate, and on behalf of Pitch Talk, got to congratulate Sophie and Rachel, because they stood up and were willing to actually report it, because that's what you've got to do. That's what you've got to do. You've got to report it, and you've also got to feel that you've got the support to report it as well. So it's one of the ones. I mean, the powers that be, once again, the ball is in the court of the powers that be. Will they drop the ball again and sweep this under the rug, or will someone actually be held accountable for their actions? Because I think this is what it's about: accountability. If people think they can get away with stuff, then they're more likely to try and get away with stuff. So, I mean, Jezzy, did you want to add anything else?
No, that was, I think you've kind of encapsulated it. But, you know, again, I think it's more for anybody else that had seen or heard anything, you know, to come forward and make their voices heard. You know, it's not a time to shy away from the issue. Now is the time for, you know, anyone affected by it, anyone who saw it, and the powers that be, to stand up and actually face the issue, because this is the only way we're going to deal with it. You know, we have to say that it's not acceptable. You know, and deal with it just like any other major issue. Otherwise, you know, I'd actually argue that all of it is in vain. You know, there really is no point if we're not going to stand up against it and act against it. You know, if we're not going towards it with that aim, then what are we doing?
See, for me, it's one of them ones where I mean, Brad Hicks has just said we'll always girls on the ball will always have my support because I'm not a wrong and like the fans who abuse Dr. Eva Carniero. And I think that's a great. I like that as a point. And I mean, the thing that concerns me is the thing that actually concerns me is the fact that there are people who actually just dismiss it as banter, and it's like, for me, like I said, or I think it was Sophie Downey, one of her Facebook statuses, is that people used to excuse racism with that sort of rhetoric. So it's one of them was that any sort of abuse in that way is not on. And I said racism used to be dismissed in that manner as well. And now but as the years have gone by, people have stood up against it. We need that same thing with sexism, because we can't live in a civilized society where this kind of stuff is still a problem because of ignorant morons. And it's always a moronic minority. It's always a moronic minority, and that's the thing that we've said for years. It's always the moronic minority that ruins it for everyone. So I don't know, man. It's I said we need to stand up against this. We really, really do need to stand up against this, and it's just not on. And by the way, Bradford/Reading will take on Arsenal. So that means that it will be Liverpool or Blackburn against Aston Villa. So that's very interesting in the FA Cup, semi-final draw. So this gets very, very interesting right now. So you know what, yeah. Liverpool / Blackburn. I'm actually happy with that draw. I'm actually very, very happy with that draw personally, to be honest. But we're gonna come back to that because we're talking about a very serious issue at the moment. Now, if any of the Skypers want to jump in terms of the sexism issue here, then please let us know in the Skype chat, and also via Twitter and Facebook as well, and Google Plus. Please let us know your views. Let us know your views. I think the burden is on the powers that be to help stamp out sexism. I think that's where the burden has to lie, because at the end of the day, you can't like with like what I said in terms of Papi Cisse and Johnny Evans spitting, you can't have people in positions of power and people who are in the army, but these people are supposed to be role models. Once again, it's role models not doing their job, not living up to being role models, which is not good. So it's one of them ones, man. I'm just not happy that I wouldn't be happy if anybody with anybody who puts out this sexist abuse, let alone members of the army as well. I just don't get it. And the FA are sending out mixed messages with what they've been saying as well. Oh yeah, we're going to investigate this, but we'd like to thank the army for their support. And it's like, it's like either you're castigating or you're brown nosing. Which one is it? And it sounds like the FA is brown nosing, and I am concerned that nothing will happen with this. I mean, Jesse, I don't know if you share those same concerns. And G-Man, let us know when you're back as well.
Well, like I was saying before, in that we have to essentially deal with it now and deal with it in a serious manner, or forget about it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, if football is going to be seen as a progressive and modern sport, this is what needs to be done, and the powers that be need to take affirmative action. We were talking earlier about, you know, how the FA dealt with the Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse Spitgate, as it's been coined, incident, right? And how decisive they were with that. So I'm looking at it like this. I'm like, okay, it's good that you were decisive on that. Now this is another far more serious issue that also needs decisive action. So, you know, if you really want to establish yourself as a top footballing association in the world, right, then you need to take a similar stance in terms of rapidity of response and, of course, the forcefulness of punishment with this incident as well. You know, it really is as simple as that. It's either you continue in the same vein, or, as I say, you know, effectively we forget about it. And right about now, if we're looking for equality in football, in terms of men's football, women's football, especially abled football, so on and so forth, then all of these things need to be addressed, and addressed quickly. You know, so it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this from all the powers that be that are involved. But as I say, it needs to be done. It needs to be done. Now is not the time to shy away from it. Now is the time to make decisive action, take decisive action, and show that you're serious about dealing with the issue.
Of course. Of course. I mean, as I said, it's just concerning. It's just concerning that, as I said, my worry is the fact that it will go unpunished. That would be. I mean, that would be my main concern. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, if any of our Skypers want to jump in on this point, then please let us know. Because I think, again, this is another plague. This is another plague that riddles the game. That is riddled within the game. And as said, the fact that some people can just dismiss it as banter, it's not on. That some people can actually just dismiss it as that, because it's not that. And I said, we've seen abhorrent things said and excused as banter, and it's like, no, that's not it. So I don't know, man. I just think the whole thing's a legit disgrace. I mean, G-Man, are you there? Are you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Well, what's your view on the point that we've been discussing at the moment in terms of the sexist chant in the FA calling on fans to report sexist abuse after the footage has emerged of that happening to Eva Coronero, and also about the sexist abuse claims at England the Australia Cyprus Cup match. At that match, and what Girls on the Ball have had to say as well, because they actually, of course, made a complaint about it. But what do you think about sexism in football as an issue?
Well, you know what? Just touching on the Girls on the Ball incident, I did overhear what you were saying, and to be honest, I feel sorry for them to, you know, having to actually be there and face that sort of situation, because it's not nice. Obviously, no sort of abuse is nice, and you know, having to sit through that sort of incident, and even for the women that were playing on the day to have to face that, it is disgusting, and it is part of the game. I'm not gonna see. The issue is now that for me personally, with abuse now, it's because people are becoming more aware. You know, football has become, it's not just honed in as a man's game as it was before. You know, it is actually spreading the doors, and it's opening up to a larger mass of people of like you said, all different backgrounds, all different sexes, all different races, all different sexual orientations, you know. And what was once, you know, you can actually say a small community because it was just seen as a man's game, it's now a large community because it literally is turning into a world's game. And, you know, as Jesse Fizzle always says, you know, this is societal issues. I don't think it's something that's going to be fixed, you know, just overnight. And that's the issue we have at hand now. There's going to be a lot more of these incidents, especially with the women's game on the uprise, with more exposure. You know, like I said before, in my own personal opinion, you know, the women's game, you know, is trying to force its way up the platform very fast, whereas the men's game grew organically. And, you know, some might disagree with that. But what I'm trying to say with the men's game, it started from workmen, you know, went through the years of the ages, world wars, whatever, you know, and naturally it just progressed. Whereas the women's games, you know, it also started in that sort of era, but it wasn't actually seen as the game as, you know, as a marketable game. So, but now they're trying to fast track it as a marketable game, and what's inherent in the men's game is going to spill over into the women's game. And we've seen it. We know there's sexism. We know there's racism. We know there's all sorts of issues. And I'm just trying to say it's not going to be a fast fix. It's going to be slow and hard, and a lot of doors are going to be needed to be being beaten down. And I think all that can be done is for awareness campaigns to keep being flooded in the game.
Well, you know what? It's interesting that you mentioned that, actually, that you mentioned that campaigns, because we, you know, let's chuck this in now, because we were gonna move on to this as a special feature in a minute, but it actually does deserve coming now. She Belongs campaign. This is from Friday, 6th of March 2015, and this is actually from Women in Football. Football clubs have been asked to champion their female staff and help celebrate International Women's Day this weekend as part of a major campaign aimed at tackling sexism in the game. The month-long campaign by Women in Football, supported by Everyday Sexism, will use social media to highlight the growing number of women working in football and help encourage more to follow in their footsteps with the hashtag #SheBelongs. It will also aim to raise awareness of discrimination and sexist abuse, especially on match days, and how to report it through the hashtag #ShameOnTheGame. Now, all 92 Premier and Football League clubs have been asked to profile inspirational women, whether directors, physiotherapists, administrators, volunteers, or supporters, in their matchday programs to show their commitment to equal opportunities and help celebrate International Women's Day, which was yesterday, Sunday, March 8th, 2015. Women in Football will be sharing matchday program pages via social media, tweeting at Women in Football, or emailing info@womeninfootball.co.uk using the hashtag #SheBelongs. Incidents of sexist abuse or discrimination can also be made public using the #ShameOnTheGame hashtag, or reported anonymously to info@womeninfootball.co.uk. Women in Football has also created a sexist briefing note, the first of its kind, aimed at helping matchday stewards and stadium safety officials to recognize sexist abuse in football stadiums. The document was drawn together using expert advice and piloted at a Premier League club this season. This is the first time that clubs have specifically been asked to focus on the issue of sexist abuse. The move to raise awareness follows Women in Football's groundbreaking industry survey in March of 2014, which found that over 66% of women employed in sport had witnessed sexism in the workplace. Over 89% of those who said they had witnessed it said they had not reported it. With #ShameOnTheGame the game hashtag, women in football hope that more men and women will feel empowered to come forward and report discrimination, such as Girls on the Ball did at the Cyprus Cup match. So Anna Kessel, chair of Women in Football, which represents over 1,200 females working in the industry, said women represent half the population and half the talent. They deserve to belong to football with equal recognition in the boardroom, workforce, and as supporters. While we recognize progress is being made, there are still too many barriers to women's progression in the industry and acceptance by the sport. This is why we are asking clubs to champion female talent, as well as raise awareness of sexist abuse and discrimination and how those affected can report it in a bid to bring about a change in attitudes. Minister for Sport Helen Grant said it is absolutely right that we champion and celebrate women who work in the football industry and play vital roles in making the game the success that it is. There's also a couple of other important quotes in regards to this as well. So I want more women to get involved in football across the board and to see it as a great industry to work in. Sexism in any shape or form should not be tolerated, so I applaud this push to encourage people to report any incidents of sexist abuse and for the promotion of inclusivity across football. Laura Bates, the founder of the Everyday Sexism Project, who are partnering in this, said we have received numerous entries from people who have experienced sexism, harassment or abuse whilst playing, watching, supporting or working in football. Whether victims of staff, players or fans, misogynistic chants and sexual harassment can mar the experience of sporting events. It is time that clubs and fans alike stand together and take responsibility for creating a space where everybody can enjoy football free from any kind of prejudice. Polly Neat, who is the chief executive of Women's Aid, working with the Premier League this season, said, we fully support women in football with their #SheBelongs campaign. Women need to know where they can report sexism and have reassurance that reports will be taken seriously. We know through our Football United Against Domestic Violence work that football can create a powerful platform for social change, and hope that all clubs join in and raise important awareness about an issue that often falls under the radar. So Women in Football aims to improve women's representation at all levels of the game by celebrating women's achievement, challenging discrimination and lobbying for change, sharing professional contacts, advice and expertise, and offering mentoring opportunities to the next generation. For further information, contact info@womeninfootball.co.uk and www.womeninfootball.co.uk and @womeninfootball on Twitter, and the #SheBelongs. That's the hashtag that you need to use, #SheBelongs. You know what? I thought that was worth mentioning now rather than going into a special feature, because at the end of the day, campaigns like this are fantastic and there needs to be more of them and they need support. The She Belongs campaign is fantastic. I said info@womeninfootball.co.uk and www.womeninfootball.co.uk and @womeninfootball on Twitter. You will have seen a conversation between us and @womeninfootball on Twitter as well. It's a case of these kind of initiatives need support because sexism needs to be driven out of the game. As said, football is inclusive, not exclusive. I mean, Chezzy G man, if you guys want to jump in on the She Belongs campaign, feel free. I just want to ask Mike Harniman actually to repeat what he said in the Skype chat about sexism. Mike, what was it you said in the Skype chat earlier about it?
Yeah, basically what I said, the comment that I made was sexism in football is disgraceful behaviour. Everyone has the right to be treated equally, and basically whether that's male, female, sexual orientation, whatever, race, anything else as well that you can think of, and how they can say that is banter as well is absolutely horrific, and it needs to be stamped out at all costs.
No, definitely couldn't agree with you more. I legitimately could not agree with you more. I mean, I said sexism being labeled as banter. I said that's how racism used to get kind of swept under the rug for a number of years. Up until the last 20 years, it used to be swept under the rug as that as well. So it's similar struggles. Within that. I mean, there have been strides made, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done, and that work cannot stop. So I mean, Jezzy G-Man, did you want to jump in before we shift points?
Well, I think you just made the majority of the points there, and obviously, I agree wholeheartedly. I think all the organisations involved are doing fantastic work in terms of raising awareness. But the thing that I wouldn't like to see with this is that it's very much a flash in the pan in terms of the cooperation from the FA and the Premier League, so on and so forth. This is something that needs to go down throughout the football leagues, in association with the Women's FA, and have both FAs take a joint stand to show that they're united, and for football fans, to take a stand and show that they're united, and in their support. And I think, it's very much one of our old interviews was about Football Unites Racism Divides. Take out the racism bit and just go with Football Unite. I think the thing that everybody has in common is that they are football fans. You see what I mean? And whether it's gender, sexual orientation, religion, creed, so on and so forth, any of those don't really come into it when it comes to supporting your club, or supporting your national team. So, bearing that in mind, I would say that there's no reason for this not to continue. I think if, for example, Kick It Out can reach to the level that they're at, I don't see any reason why any of, the organisations involved in this campaign can't reach a similar level. There's absolutely no reason for that not to be the case. So, I think overall great work is being done, but as you rightly pointed out, this great work needs to continue because there's more work to do.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie Bailey, you've said something quite interesting in the Skype chat. Would you like to repeat that? Jamie, you there?
Yeah. Sorry. Just coming back off the high of the obviously the United Arsenal game. Just looking at what was actually mentioned. I forgot the name of the campaign that's actually being put forward.
The She Belongs, the She Belongs campaign.
It says it itself. She Belongs.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers, somebody I can't remember the name, but a female manager was put in place of a French club
of Evian. Yeah, of Evian.
That's it.
Well, it all kind of went sour, but
it went sour, and you can see why it went sour. It was almost a case of she was being put in a position where she had her plans, but everybody wanted to go above her because of her being a female. It's the same thing with racism. I think if people are saying that it's banter, it's not. I don't like it. I don't endorse it. It's almost as bad as singing. And I'm probably not happy with it, but it's almost as bad as singing a Spurs song when you're an Arsenal fan. Same thing with what happened at Chelsea with PSG. And it just goes in that line. I think if more people are stating that they're not happy with something rather than keeping quiet about it, then it might just gather a bit more momentum. And maybe if we can get more awareness about it, there's going to be a lot more changes to be made. Obviously, the people at the top need to listen, but the more that they're aware of it, the more they can't ignore it. Just like the election coming up soon enough, for me, not everybody's going to vote. But that's down to a generation thing. And now that we're in this generation where we can make a difference, the more people know that football is available to women, to young children, to men of a sexual nature, they should be allowed to do what they want regardless, and not feel that they have to hide behind it.
But see, I think you've got it. I think you've got it spot on there. It's a case of football can be such a great vehicle for change, but often the powers that be drop the ball, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen with this. And also, being confident enough to report something is half the battle, but also knowing that something is going to be done about it is the other half of the battle. And if you think that something's pointless and that nothing's going to be done about it, then you're going to have a lot less confidence in reporting it. So they they very much intertwine. And if the power, as long as the powers that be come out, and they've been kind of slow so far in terms of coming out with any sort of statement saying anything in terms of draconian punishments for people. But the fact of the matter is, She Belongs, those sort of campaigns there, and this girl can, trying to get more women included in football and people included in football. And it's one of them was, that's what's got people have got to feel confident enough to do things like girls on the ball. Sophie and Rachel were confident enough. They even admitted, because it was the army with putting out this sexist abuse, they didn't want to offend people, but they felt it was important enough to actually articulate it and make the complaint. But a lot of people will have those sort of quandaries, if you will. So it's one of them was, we need to support people who are hearing this abuse. We need to support people when they want to report it, because I said reporting is the first step to eradicate it. And Brad Hicks on Twitter has said sexism has absolutely, in capital letters, absolutely no place in football. And it's the truth. It has no place in football. No prejudice should be allowed in football, whether sexism, racism, homophobia. It shouldn't have a place, because it should be, I mean, the game was and will forever be and should be inclusive, not exclusive. We say we the people for the people, and football should have that same sort of slogan as well. That's what I reckon. I mean, Jamie, you wanted to add something before we have to move on.
Yeah, just wanted to enlighten people on this situation and make them think a bit. If this is what's happening in football, and it came from the army, then what chance have we got for the army to actually take football? How can we take the army seriously if this is what they're doing as well? That's basically my question. Well, if they're doing, I don't want to discredit what they're doing over in Afghanistan and all of those places. And by all means, I want them to come back. The problem is what are they doing the same thing in the army, and are they actually doing anything about it? Because as far as it looks, the army have now got a bad reputation over a few comments.
But the thing is, you got to contextualize this. As said, it's a moronic minority, so that always has to be brought into context. It's not a majority doing this. It's a few bad apples spoiling the bunch, and as I said, tarring everyone with the same brush is nearly as bad as what is happening, because it's prejudice in another form. So it's one of them ones, but this is a start. And as I said, football is a microcosm of society. I've said that on many occasions, but that is part of football's power. It's a microcosm of society, but the fact of the matter is, there's an opportunity here to change things, and that's what we need to do. Get behind campaigns such as She Belongs. Get behind entities such as Kick It Out, and make the ignorant and the moronic realize that you can't get away with this stuff anymore, and that people shouldn't have to tolerate it, and people won't tolerate it either. That's where we need to go.
Do you know, I just want to also jump on and say though, the stress.
Yeah, go on.
I do feel with the sexism thing, it's an identity thing as well. Yeah, and I'm not trying to sound old-fashioned or whatever, but as I said before, because the men's game, or the title, the men's game has had such a hold on football. Yeah, it's like that is what football is identified with, and I think until the women's game really builds a real identity for itself, you know, where it's like its own education machine, just like the women's NBA. Whereas I doubt there probably is sexism over there, but I doubt you would hear it and in such a rife manner in this day and age as you did when it first started. You know, and until the women's game is really out there and, you know, really appreciated by young, it's ready to tap into the young psyche as well. So they're not growing and corrupted with the views and the attitudes of potentially the older generation who just see it as banter. You know, the young psyche and the young members of society will obviously be more molded, you know, for the game and, you know, attitudes within the game. That's just how I'm looking at it.
That's an interesting one because the youth are the future. The youth are the future, but we've got the fact of the matter is we've got to start it. We've got to start it somewhere, and this is the starting point of it. This is the starting point, and of course, the women's game is trying to create its own identity. But if you've got sexist attitudes permeating the game and permeating people and permeating the powers that be, it's kind of somewhat block that. So if you can at least somewhat dispel some of the myths around the women's game and get rid of at least some of the sexism that is rife in society, then you can help the women's game form its own identity. And that's one of the important things. But you know what, yeah? And thank you to everyone for their opinions so far. We're going to ask for even more opinions because the FA Cup draw, as we mentioned earlier, the FA Cup semi-final draw, Bradford v Reading. Or Reading will face Arsenal, and Aston Villa will face Liverpool or Blackburn. The ties to be played the 18th and the 19th, 2015. Now, I'm happy with that draw. As long as we get past Blackburn, the Villa game should be very, very interesting. But the fact of the matter is, potentially we could see an Arsenal-Liverpool final, and I'm hoping for that because you know what will happen, G-Man. You know what will happen.
Definitely.
We'll win it again, just like in 2001, and we'll be co-hosting on Wembley Way.
And it will be a lot.
It'd be fun. And we'll be there with Jezzy Fizzle as well.
Big old biddies.
No, not this again. I was
you go away for all this time and you come back and you manage to drop that. It's like you've never been away.
I've been waiting for that whole show.
I was gonna say. Speaking of never being away, Man United have gone away in the FA Cup, haven't they? Isn't that right, Jezzy? hey, Jezzy. In regards to Man United this season in the FA Cup,
Life sucks, and then you die.
I was thinking you were just going to make it in regards to cup football in general, but you know what? Looking at my Aldo, it's about that time where I thank everybody.
Look at him, he's walking away. Hey, if you walk away, you know you're gonna get
-5 stars.
Well, I'm looking at it like this: like if Craig David can do it, I can do it.
Craig David, good gravy. You and G-Man, I want your views on the game.
I thought it was a great cup tie. I thought while it was 11 v 11, Manchester United had a very good chance of salvaging perhaps a draw. But I think, you know, Angel Di Maria was in a moment of stupidity, because that's really what got him sent off. And I think his sending off actually changed the game, because after that the team weren't really balanced. I think the 2 substitutions at half time probably didn't help very much with that. So after the sending off, there wasn't really a lot that could have been changed in terms of personnel to try and balance out the squad. You know, overall, I thought Manchester United played well in that game. Probably deserved a draw, especially when you look at the statistics. But at the same time, you know, I also happen to think that the more clinical team won. It was an absolute brain fade from Antonio Valencia in regards to that back pass. It was absolutely suicidal. And of all people, Danny Welbeck was there to punish Manchester United, not just for the back pass, but also for selling him. And I thought, his decision to celebrate, even though his celebration was, akin to a non-celebration, was quite interesting. In that I would have thought that he would have been one of those players that probably wouldn't have. But, it just goes to show. I mean, I think Robin van Persie, he did something very similar. So, it just goes to show that this whole loyalty in football in regards to not celebrating, it's very, very rare. Very, very rare now, and probably overrated. But, congratulations to Arsenal. Congratulations to the G-Man. Congratulations to Mike. Congratulations to Jamie. Congratulations to my Uncle Mike. He's upstairs celebrating right now. He's very happy. Congratulations to all my cousins that are Arsenal fans. And I have to do the classy bit. And obviously now this is the part where I hand over to the G-Man and he tells you what he thought of the game.
Thank you, Jesse. And I'll just add to that and just say, the game was everything that I wanted it to be, but everything that I didn't think it was going to be. It was more exciting. There was a less nervousness to the game. There's a lot more edge to it. Both teams, in their periods, were going for the game. Man United, in all honesty, had some very, very good chances and, brought out some good saves from Szczesny. But equally, the same could say said for De Gea, who had a terrific game, made some great saves, especially with Santi Cazorla at the end where he got his hand to it. I've got to say, Danny Welbeck, he's one of those players where he's like Marmite in that it depends what you're looking for from him. A lot of players want him to score a lot more goals, but he's a tiresome worker, and I really appreciate what he brings to the Arsenal team. In fact, that he, it's paid off for him today, where he's gone through a little bit of a goal drought and he scored, the winning goal against the team in which the manager had said basically he's not good enough to be in the Man United. There's a pecking order and he's just not good enough. And he scored the winning goal. What else could you do to please the fans of the club that you're playing for and, rub it in the faces of the fans and the manager of the team that you left? And I just, it's a great victory for Arsenal. I'm very happy.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
And just to add to that, I think in terms of momentum, there's a significant shift there in that obviously Arsenal have something substantial to build on. Obviously now there's a potential for 2 trips to Wembley and silverware, to build on last season as well. And for Manchester United, you have to say this is the start or even in the middle of a very crucial run at this point of their season, and you think to yourself, well, both teams really needed that confidence boost of winning this game, and obviously only one of them could have taken that, and that was Arsenal. So it's interesting to see where Arsenal's season goes from here. Also very interesting to see what happens with Manchester United's season, in that this unfortunately could very well be a turning point. But I also happen to think that the 2 substitutions, double substitution at half-time, I think probably hampered a lot of the rhythm, changed the game quite a bit, probably more than what was hoped for initially. And as I say, Arsenal in the second half, the better of the 2 sides. Manchester United had a lot of half chances but didn't take them. I also think that there was a lot of emphasis on trying to persuade the referee to make a certain decision, which,
as Man United have done a lot at Old Trafford over the years, but leaving that aside.
Obviously you would have to chime in with that, but I think that all of that could have been left aside, and if they focused on playing the game and trying to win the game, that probably would have been the outcome, as opposed to them trying to win these phantom free kicks and fouls, and as I say, they were punished for that. But overall, I think on the balance of play, a draw would have been a fairer result. A replay would have been a much fairer outcome to the game. But having said that, congratulations to Arsenal. I think they deserved it. And for Manchester United, it's now really looking at how they go forward. In that, you have one of the quote unquote star players of the team, one of the big names, who's clearly out of form right now, and has a lot of things mentally, emotionally going on that need to be sorted out because they really seem to be impacting his game. So, Angel Di Maria has a lot to answer for in terms of when Manchester United go back to the drawing board, and so does Louis van Gaal, because you look at that double substitution and you say, well, I can understand the single substitution at halftime, but that double substitution, I mean, as far as I was aware, there were no injuries. It wasn't injury based. So, I thought it was going to be a bit of a tactical shift, which it was. I thought it was an effort to control the game, but at the end of the day, you have to say that really backfired.
I hear that. You know what? Yeah, want to also get Mike Harniman's opinion on this as well before we move on to.
I've got someone that wants to say something though quickly.
Yeah, go.
Just 1 second. Wait, come here.
No.
Did you get that?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, I think I know where he's going. Gavin, we're gonna have to come back to that. But you know what? Yeah, Mike Harniman, your view before we move on to Jack Hinchon, and then we've also got Kieran Riley who wanted to come in as well. But Mike Harniman, your view on tonight's match, and is the FA Cup yours to retain?
Right. First of all, I'm going to say that it was a very even game, as I said at half time. There wasn't much in it. Either side could have won it, really. If it was 11 against 11, I think it could well have been a draw, as Jesse was saying. But the momentum did change, and I'll agree with that when the two subs were made, because obviously they had Mata and Falcao on the bench who didn't get to come on and make an impact. And so I can agree with that, and I can see where he's going with that one as well. But at the same time, it's so nice to see that we've bounced back from the Monaco defeat with 3 straight wins, and we've got strikers scoring goals. We've got Giroud scoring goals. We've got Welbeck scoring goals now, and hopefully kicking on from this as well. It's really nice to see a couple of strikers scoring and doing the business for Arsenal at the moment and getting us through to the next round. It's difficult to know whether it's ours to lose or not. I kind of think it is in a way, but at the same time, you can't underestimate Bradford or Reading or whoever else. If we get through, we might come up against in the final as well. So it's a difficult one to say, but I'm confident and I don't fear anyone. I didn't fear United and I don't fear Bradford or Reading. I think it'll be a very good game, as you've seen from the cup games previously against Bradford and Reading as well, when Bradford knocked us out of the League Cup, and obviously the 5-7 in that competition as well against Reading. So it's a very difficult one to call, but I'm not going to fear anyone. I'm pleased with the victory tonight, and just going to leave it with, oh, Danny boy, Danny boy.
Oh, LVG. All I can say is after Louis van Gaal's comments when he sold Danny Welbeck, it's a case of this.
Life sucks, and then you die.
Well done, LVG. Jack Hinchon, you wanted to jump in on this as well, and welcome to the show. Jack, what the... We'll come back to you. You ready? Is he ready yet? Oh my god.
Hello.
There you go. There we go. Jack,
Sorry,
your thoughts on tonight's match, and welcome to the show, by the way. And what do you think of the draw too?
Tonight's match was actually a really, really good match. And going back to my comments 2 weeks ago, I think we've actually improved on that, and I'd kind of rather us go out on our shields like we did today. At least we tried something, and we're trying to create something and actually play some form of football. But yeah, fair play to Arsenal. The red card changed it all. Di Maria, don't know what he was playing at, and we were just falling over left, right, and centre. I don't know what we were trying to do. Like, who were we trying to con? They weren't even clever dives. They were pathetic dives. It's just.
Is there a difference?
Weird. Pardon?
Is there a difference between clever and pathetic dives?
There's like the South American dive where they really play for it and leave the foot in and actually get kicked, you know, but they were just falling over. I don't know what they were playing at, but I'm not condoning diving. Just put that out there. My opinion, congratulations to Arsenal as well. I don't want to sound sour about it all. And in my opinion, probably, I reckon Liverpool might take the FA Cup. To be honest, it kills me to say that because I know you're smiling on the inside, Liam. But yeah, I can see Arsenal stumble against silly teams they shouldn't. Whereas I can see Liverpool have hit a good run of form now, and they'll be pretty clinical against anyone they come up against because they know it's a trophy they can win.
But then in the cups, we haven't been brilliant. It's one of them ones. I mean, against Bolton in the first leg, we weren't brilliant, and against Blackburn on Sunday we weren't.
If you look how tight knit everyone is in that part of the table, there is still a possibility Liverpool might not get Europe at all. So this is an opportunity for Liverpool to definitely get Europe. And they'll take it with both hands. And I think United should look at that as a disappointment because with our run in the league, we might not get Europe at all. So we should have looked at the FA Cup. This is what I didn't get what Van Gaal did. Why did he not? The 2 substitutions at half-time, he wasted a substitution. I completely agree with that. You keep one substitution for a situation like we had there where you throw another striker on and just load up top and try and nick a goal. It's exactly how we would have done it a couple of years ago, but I can't understand the reason why we didn't do it today.
I got a question for you. The Fellaini being played up top and Rooney being played in the midfield. If you're playing Fellaini up top, in theory, that makes it look like you're going to play a very simplistic game. Long ball because he's good in the air. Do you think that was a mistake starting in that way and LVG basically persevering with it? And I also throw that question out to Jesse Fizzle too.
Sorry, go on.
I also throw that question out to Jesse Fizzle too. So.
Oh, okay. My whole thing is this season it seems to have worked putting Fellaini up top. So why would Van Gaal change something where he knows in his head that that's the way we win games now at this minute in time in our situation anyway. So I don't see why he would change it. So I'm not necessarily against the way we've started because we weren't bad at the start, but he never left himself a plan B. And it was a big mistake. And that's what, do you know what? That's what Arsenal used to do, is not leave themselves a plan B. And you should have a plan C. You should be prepared for all outcomes. And when Van Gaal came in, we were all thinking, here's the tactical genius. I honestly haven't seen it this season. You know, like...
It's an interesting one, yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. I'm a bit calmer than I was when I talked about it last time. We're in a very strange predicament at the minute. Like I just tweeted about half hour ago that I don't think Van Gaal should leave, or we shouldn't sack him, regardless of the outcome of this season. But he needs to imprint himself on this team. He needs to show them who's the boss. I think there's a bit of we don't look like we're going anywhere. And we seem to be happy with it. And this is what the frustrating thing for me is at the minute. There's no guide in the team. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't even know what the answer is to all our problems at the minute because we've got a world-class set of players. And everyone points the finger at the defence, but the defence holds out, apart from Valencia when he wants to play like that. But yeah, the defence holds out. It's not the defence. We need fluidity up top. And do you know what? Today we played well up top. We weren't just knocking the long ball in 24/7. We were trying to play it on the deck and, you know, at least pushing it out wide and then whipping it in to create a better angle. Look at Rooney's goal.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like that. That's the Man United way. What's happened? Like I don't know why we're not playing like that. Even if you had Fellaini up top, keep whipping the ball in like that. But hey, what can we do?
I was going to say, if you put someone up top, like what some people said about Liverpool and Andy Carroll, if you're going to put someone tall and big and imposing,
well, I say
top,
that about
Balotelli.
I don't understand why he's not scoring, but hey, I think Balotelli's a great player, and I hope you lot keep him for your sake. because he might leave and shock you.
Nah, I don't know. He didn't do it with Man City so as well. No, but it's one of those. I mean, we also thanks for your opinions, by the way, Jack. And hopefully you'll hang around for the rest of the show.
I think I might have to cut. I've got the school run in the morning, lads, but I'll definitely be on the show next week, 8 o'clock sharp.
Great stuff. I love it.
Lads, have a good night, yeah.
You too, Jack, and thank you for your views as well.
Thank you for letting me voice them. Take it easy.
All good. We the people for the people. And you know what? Speaking of that, before we move on, we've actually still got Kieran Riley. You've been waiting for a while, and you wanted to have your view on the semi-final draw. So have at it, man.
Yeah, mainly on the Aston Villa against Liverpool or Blackburn game. Obviously, Blackburn game, Liverpool probably got that in the bag, hopefully. When it comes to the Villa-Liverpool game, I might have to support my Midland rivals for that, obviously, because they're a local team. I want them to do.
Are you mad?
As well. Even though I am Wolves, I want to support. I'm going to support my local rival team. But it also helps us because obviously we've also got Walsall in the JPT final, so it'll help us even more in the Midlands if we have another Midlands team in the final.
Okay, no, I understand that.
Good luck to Liverpool. If Liverpool do make it to the final, I reckon it'll be an Arsenal-Liverpool final. Liverpool might just have it.
Hey, you know what? I'm hoping for both of those eventualities. The Arsenal-Liverpool final, then going into that, I really actually am hoping so. But
then at least you can win something, unlike a couple of seasons ago in the Prem.
Yeah, we won something a couple of years ago. This one that was pitch talk at the Capital One Cup final. We got the 2015 one. We had the 2012 one where I was co-hosting. I nearly lost my voice. But anyway, it was one that was curveball along with track one on that one. But it's one that was. Remember, pitch talk at the Capital One Cup final 2015 is on youtube.com/pitch talk right now.
Remember we told you.
This one that was. And Gerard Slip in the league last season did not lose us the league. I went through on a number of occasions what lost us the league, but we haven't got time to be going back into that right now.
One simply does not have time to go back into that.
But you know what? Yeah, it is one of them ones where we're gonna pause that track just for a sec. We're just gonna go into a quick couple of messages. So we will be back in a couple of minutes. We will see you guys in a little bit. The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
G-Man.
Samir Sonley, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Caron.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday night footballing fix, Pitch Talk, is brought to you by and in association with.
Facilities are provided for your Monday night footballing fix by In Situ. Create, engage, and inspire by visiting insitu.co.
Simply exclusive entertainment. If you need a party or rave film, go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich. Simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video encoding for the web, including YouTube and Vimeo, audio recording, filming of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions and let the new blood in digital video promote you. Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with
the one-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
the new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their bunny Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of a 4-year plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Grassroots.
Grassroots segment. Oh yeah. It is the Grassroots segment, and we're just gonna go for a quick one this week. We usually start off with Ibis Football Club, give it a shout out to them. ibisfc.co.uk and ibisfootballclub@gmail.com. If you want to play for the club, email ibisfootballclub@gmail.com. Facebook.com/ibis.fc, and also at ibis_football on Twitter as well. The results from this past Saturday were Old Stationers 2 and the Ibis 1s 2. Adam Pennycook getting both of those goals, and the Ibis reserves went down 4-0 at home to Old East Tamians reserves 2s. Saturday 14th of March coming up, we got some very important matches. The Ibis 1s host South Bank Quarko. The 2s, the reserves, are away at Southgate Olympic and South Bank Quarko. Their 3s host our 3s, and when I tell you this game is important, boy, important doesn't even begin to tell you the magnitude of this game. Now, basically, just to give a bit of background, obviously we're in a relegation battle. Out of the 10-team league, we're currently 8th at the moment, but we've got 2 more games left. We've got South Bank Quarko 3s directly below us, a point below us, but they've got 4 games in hand over us. And we've got Broomfield, who are bottom, but also have 4 games in hand over us, but they're on 4 points. So we've got South Bank Quarko thirds on 8 points, Broomfield thirds on 4 points. So that's the bottom 2, and we're just above that on 9 points. And basically, to set this up, Broomfield went up against South Bank Quarko's 3s, and on this past Saturday, 7th of March 2015, and Broomfield were beaten 3-1 by South Bank Quarko 3s. So that brought South Bank Quarko from 5 points up to 8 points, and now they're already a point behind us. And our next opponents just so happen to be the South Bank Quarko 3s, and then after that, we've got to face Broomfield's 3s at home. So it's going to be very, very interesting in terms of how everything shakes down. But Broomfield actually play Knutsborough before they play us. So essentially, with the 3s, destiny in part is in our own hands. but not completely. That's the thing. So it is a very, very precarious situation. We just got to make sure we win both of our next games, because if we win our next game, Old Blues are actually still within reach. So if we were to win our next 2 games and hope for Old Blues to drop some points, we could drag them back into the relegation battle. And Old Blues, next up, have got Civil Service, who are 2 points off top spot, which is held by Carl Shorten's freeze. So Civils are still fighting for the title. So we got to hope for local rivals to do us a bit of a favour and us to do ourselves a bit of a favour as well. And also Broomfield face HSBC coming up this Saturday as well. So HSBC, who are third in the table, 4 points off top spot, are still fighting for promotion as well. So it's all very, very interesting. So you've got Carl Shorten Freeze, who are on 38. Civil Service, their 4s are on 36, and HSBC are on 34. That's the three-way tussle for the title and the 2 promotion spots. But at the bottom, you've got 3, potentially 4 teams, because Old Blues, as said, could still get dragged into it. So very, very interesting at the moment. Hey, for the guys from the Ibis listening right now, we need the freeze. We need you guys to band together, because we've got 2 6-pointers. Literally 2 6-pointers coming up. You know what? One of the training is on as usual Wednesday. Battersea Park, all-weather AstroTurf pitches, and that is from 7:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. as well. Remember, London Marathon on the 26th of April is coming up. We've got Dave Chadders and Andy Edge actually taking part in that as well. We've got the Hackney Half Marathon, Run for Rob, which is happening on May 10th. And we've got the Ibis Newcastle Tour on the 19th to the 21st of June, which is always interesting. I think, I know I'm definitely on that. I think Gav signed up as well, so it should be fun. By the way, Gavin sends his regards. He had to dash off a little early. But you know what? A bit of a mention to Tom Wood's team, Porter's Sockability, as well. Of course, their manager's name is Nigel Stewart. They train at Cedar Hall School, Hart Road, Thundersley, Essex, SS73UQ. And their contact number is 07891839171, and they're facebook.com/Porters Sockability. And it is, and this past Sunday was actually the 4th anniversary of Jordan Porter passing away. So obviously from myself, Straight Shooting LJ, and the rest of the Pitch Talk family, we obviously, our thoughts are to Jordan Porter's family at this time, at this 4th anniversary of his passing away. Tom Wood, did you want to add a little something to obviously the 4th anniversary of Jordan Porter's passing?
Even though I didn't know him, but I'd just like to send my kind regards to his family and all of his friends as well. And hopefully we can do well in our tournament this Saturday, which I'm sadly going to be missing. So I'm going to go and be watching Southend take on Dagenham. But I'll be praying like hopefully Southend win for him, and hopefully West Ham win for him, because he used to support West Ham. That's why we're playing claret and blue.
Oh, nice one. No, that's nice. That's nice when football honors its fallen. I like that. Really like that, man. I said, rest in peace to Jordan Porter. Basically, yeah. Also, Stevenage ladies actually won 6-1 against Haringey Borough, and the Stevenage ladies reserves beat Sawbridgeworth in a 1-0 win as well. And Stevenage ladies play again on against Hemel in the County Cup at Letchworth's County Ground at 3 p.m. Also, big shout out to Parkgate FC as well. Their latest result was Henor Town 3, Parkgate 0. As well, just on a quick mention in the segment. Tom, would you want to jump in before we have to move on?
Yeah, I was telling you about that we might be getting Southend's defender Adam Barrett to come and coach us.
Yep.
Like, I've spoke to him again, he might be coming to our football presentation in July, and he might be donating a shirt or a signed shirt, or like by him or from all the team, or a signed pair of football boots, and donate them to our club as a raffle prize for our presentation, which is in July.
No, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Hopefully it all comes up and goes well for Porters in that regard. You know what? It is one of them ones where we do need to shift on, and thank you for everyone who contributes to the grassroots segment. You know what? It is time for us to breeze through
Stuff of the week.
Yeah. Dramatic pauses are always the way to drive up anticipation, because it is the final segment of the show. Stuff of the week. We've got the G-Man and we want yours. This is Monday night and it's pitch talk. Give us your stuff of the week. -5 stars. Sometimes the rating for some of the things that flop. Had to go a bit Cosby on that one. But you know what? Stuff of the week. And we are going to start with goal of the week. My goal of the week, Jordan Henderson against Burnley. Very easy one. That's my goal of the week. The G-Man has gone for Harry Kane. So that's an interesting one. Not sure which one he went for. But Jesse Fizzle, goal of the week.
Fabian Delph.
I could shout. Oh, that's a good
Fabian Delph for me. Really, really good goal. And you know what? The other thing I have to say is it was, for me, one of the real turning points of that match. It really was. So, Fabian Delph gets my goal of the week.
I hear that. Let's go for let's go for Ryan Sonley, goal of the week.
This is my goal of the week, and it's for Luis Alessandro for his good teamwork with Drew Talbot, who is a right wing back playing at centre mid, played it through to Ruben Reid, and Ruben Reid passed it into Luis Alessandro, and Luis Alessandro took it around Matt Duke and scored. That's my goal of the week.
I hear that. Kieran Riley, goal of the week.
It's got to be Jack Price's first ever goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday against Watford.
I like that. Russ Vernon, goal of the week.
Honourable mention to Jordan Henderson and Fabian Delph. But for me, Alex Mowat, along with Steve Cook of Bournemouth. But from this weekend, in the Championship.
Yeah, that Cook one was a quality one. I got to say that much. Tom Wood, who you got? Tom Wood, who you got for goal of the week?
Scott Sinclair, goals on the weekend.
Good shout. It was a nice finish, actually. Just to put the icing on the cake there, baby. Mike Harniman, goal of the week.
Yeah, this goal was from last Tuesday, and it was from the Stevenage Plymouth game, which was won in the 89th, 90th minute by Bruno Andrade, on loan from QPR at Stevenage. And yeah, it was just he took it well, to be honest. Nice finish, and obviously a nice 1-0 win as well for a game I was at Stevenage last week.
Good stuff. Hopefully you and Ryan actually bumped into each other and a bit of banter, baby.
No, Ryan couldn't make the trip down, but I kind of was straight back on Skype to him after the game and was kind of giving it to him that way.
I love it. Jamie Bailey, goal of the week.
I should drop it down to one, but I've actually got two. One was scored in the game against Sporting Kansas City by can't remember the goal scorer of the name of the goal scorer. Sorry. And the other one was actually scored by a Wigan, Chelsea, and Blackburn legend Franco De Santa. If you haven't seen it, you need to.
I hear that. Let's shift on to let's go player of the week. Jesse, who are you going for? Player of the week.
Oh gosh,
it's a hard one.
That's a tough one. But I think I have to give it to Jordan Henderson, right? Because he's become kind of the fulcrum of a lot of good at Liverpool, right? But bearing that in mind, he's not signed a contract extension, so his future's kind of up in the air.
Nah, he'll sign a contract extension.
I'm not saying that he won't. I never said that. I'm saying that he's in a rich vein of form, but his long-term future is still in doubt. So yeah, for me, Jordan Henderson, because right about now he really is helping to drive that team forward, in the sense of there was a lot of talk worrying about who would take over from Steven Gerrard in that midfield, and initially there was no one looking at Jordan Henderson. Now everybody's looking at Jordan Henderson. They're trying to throw money at him, and he's like, I don't know.
I hear that. Honorable mention to Jordan Henderson. I'm gonna go with Harry Kane. He scored a few important goals this week, so it's one of them was keeping Tottenham in that race for fourth place. Gotta go Harry Kane. The G-Man has gone for Jesse Fizzle and Messi. I know why he's gone for Jesse Fizzle.
I told you, that's right? Really, dude. We know what my theme song is. The G-Man's, let's just clear this up right now, okay? So people don't get confused. The G-Man's theme song is Imaginary Player, okay? My theme song is International Players Anthem, the remix. Yeah, let's just clear it up right now.
No, I hear that. You have to clear out, man. Tom Wood, player of the week.
Myself for scoring 4 goals in training.
Nice. Yourself high five. Too much of that will make you blind. Ryan Sonley, who you going for? Player of the week.
I'm going for someone that plays for my disability team, and that's Thomas Lilly, for finishing when he's actually a defender and he was played out of position up front.
Great shout. Russ Vernon, player of the week.
Honourable mention to Jordan Henderson for his performance in the week for Liverpool. And yesterday, because I thought he played well for yesterday, Liam. But for me, he's been out of the team for a bit, come back and he's been playing well for us. Luke Murphy, he's starting to play some decent football for us in midfield.
Good shouts. Kieran Riley, player of the week.
Benik Furby for creating quite a few chances for us in our game against Wolves.
Good shout. Mike Harniman, player of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Stevenage steward Robert Mays, who sadly lost his life after a heart attack on Thursday. So obviously, thoughts go out with all the family and friends, and just hopefully, you're staying strong at this difficult time, of course, with Robert's passing.
Good shout. That's a fantastic shout. Jamie Bailey, who you going for? Player of the week.
Mike's has kind of made me think a bit. Player of the week.
But we're going to need to hurry up. We're going to need to hurry because of time.
Player of the week, I'm going to go with manager again, and it's Bournemouth's manager, Eddie Howe again.
I was going to say it definitely wasn't Kit Simons.
Easy.
That would have been a curveball rally on the strike one. But
easy.
Let's go for team of the week. Team of the week. I am going to go for a story that was actually brought to our attention. I think it was by Mike Harniman who posted this. Club Brugge. I'm gonna go Club Brugge because a terminally ill Club Brugge fan watched his last match out in Belgium. Lorenzo Schoenbert watch this beloved club win for one last time before visiting the euthanasia clinic. So I'm going for Club Brugge for my team of the week. Jezzy Fizzle, who are you going for? Team of the week?
Yeah, for non-footballing reasons, I have to give it to Club Brugge, far and away. Footballing reasons, though, I have to say it's a toss-up between Atletico Madrid for beating Real and the resurgent Aston Villa.
That's a fantastic shout. On the pitch, Villa is actually a fantastic shout. No, it's a good shout. And the terminally ill Club Brugge fan, that was a story brought to us by Russ Vernon, so thank you for that one. Let's go for Russ Vernon. Who's your team of the week?
Leeds United and Leeds United under 21s. Reason why I chose under 21s won back-to-back matches, including a 5-0 win earlier today away at Huddersfield Town with 5 different goal scorers: Galfabro, Montenegro, Dawson penalty, Phillips, and Killock.
Good shout. Very, very good shout. Let's go for Jamie Bailey. You got your team of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with FC Cologne. I don't know how you may say it, but FC Cologne, and obviously I saw what happened, so I'm going to go with goals on the ball as well. They're actually getting their name literally imprinted on Sky Sports' website.
That's a great shout, actually. You know what? I didn't think of that, actually. No, girls on the ball do deserve definitely a big-time shout-out for standing up to sexism and having the balls to report it. Fantastic stuff. Jamie, great shout there. Hey, you'll get nothing but agreement from us here at Pitch Talk. Tom Wood, who are you going for? Team of the week?
Aston Villa for giving Stylian Petrov a coaching role, and also I read earlier on today that they've said to him that he can lead the team out at Wembley.
Yeah, the only reason we actually didn't mention that is because he may be off, so it hasn't been. We haven't seen it confirmed. So it's one of them. But nah, good shout. Ryan Sonley, who are you going for? Team of the week?
Well, it's my Middlesbrough under 21s for winning 3-1 against West Brom under 21s today.
Nah, good shout. Kieran Riley, team of the week.
Off the pitch, it's got to be everyone who has donated to Nick Crew's football fund. Currently raised over 16,500 in less than a day. Who's the Watford fan who was sadly assaulted after our Wolves game on Saturday. But on the pitch, can't believe I'm saying this, is Aston Villa for beating Tesco FC, or should I say West Bromwich Albion, twice in a week.
I say Tesco FC. I love that. Mike Harniman, team of the week.
Yeah, it's difficult because there's obviously quite a lot of vulnerable mentions to give as well, including girls on the ball. But for me, I'm going to have to give it to jointly Arsenal and Stevenage together for the way they've performed in the last couple of weeks. Arsenal bouncing back with 3 victories after the Monaco game, and Stevenage winning 2 in a week as well. So I've got to give it to those two, to be fair.
Good shouts. Let's go for flop of the week. Flop of the week must be said. Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse deserve honourable mention, but those British Army members who were at the Cyprus Cup during the England-Australia ladies match, shouting sexist abuse, they definitely deserve flop of the week. I don't care, give a damn if they're from the British Army or not. They deserve flop of the week for that. Well, as I said, Papi Cisse and Johnny Evans deserve honourable mention, very much so too. So pick them out of that one. Jazzy Fizzle, flop of the week.
Well, I'm tempted to throw in Angel Di Maria for tonight's performance, but I think you're right. You know, off the pitch, those British Army members in question, you know, I can't really look much further than them, as well as Johnny Evans and Papi Cisse. So, yeah, all of them flops of the week.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. Mike Harniman, flop of the week.
My flop of the week this week, well, is Manchester United, Jazzy. Sorry, but I had to do it.
Oh, that's cruel. Oh,
that's fine. That's fine. As I say, don't expect to be on the next few shows.
Use the rights and privileges, Louis.
No, I'm kidding. No, you are right with that. And to be honest, I was expecting it, so it's fine.
Nah, I hear that. Russ Vernon, flop of the week.
For me, Liam, I'm going to have to give it. I've got to Millwall for their defeat to Norwich of the weekend, to Huddersfield for their performance of the weekend as well against Rotherham, and Wigan for their performance against us as well. So those are my flops of the week.
Nah, I hear that. Tom Wood, flop of the week.
Brentford.
That's an interesting one. Wait, they drew. They didn't lose. Anyway, Jamie Bailey, flop of the week.
I have to put it down to, you know what, I'm not even going to say my team. Although they did get crunched 5-1, I'm going to have to go with Middlesbrough for the fact that they've been at the top and don't seem to know how to keep onto a lead.
I hear that. Kieran Riley, round out, team of the week. Sorry, your flop of the week, I should say.
Off the pitch, friend and DJ on Storm, Naomi Westhead, for saying Barcelona are rubbish. On the pitch, West Bromwich Albion.
Nah, good shouts. You know, I just want to throw out to the social networks, actually. Just a couple of comments. Johnny Evans and Pappy C say both banned for 6 games for spitting at one another, deserved or not. Ben Attridge, obviously, I commented and said easily deserved, could have been more, arguably. Ben Attridge said, total joke, how is it worth 6-game ban? Yes, they should be punished, maybe a yellow card to each, or to add to the tally, a 1-game ban. John Terry gets found guilty of racist comments and only gets a 4-game ban. What about career-ending tackle players that get away with it? A bit of spit won't end someone's career, and 6-game ban. But he said it's vile and disgusting, but had the ref seen it and given a straight red, they would not have been given a 6-game ban. But career-ending tackles get away with it. The whole system needs to be there. Thank you for your opinions there, Ben. Also, Di Maria sent off for visibly touching the referee after being yellow carded for diving. Was his red card harsh? Was our question. Andy Copeland, who was one of our pitch talk meets guests, as a complete neutral, no, it wasn't harsh. He said tongue in cheek, but he does say, in all seriousness, I watched rugby yesterday, and I know it's a bit of a cliche to quote what goes on in egg chasing, but at one point the referee, who is mic'd up, spoke to the Wasp captain and said, I've made my decision. I don't appreciate your player questioning my integrity. It's a standard we should all aspire to, and it's not unattainable, certainly in SAL football like that. And the FA Cup semi-final draw, Bradford / Reading v Arsenal. Aston Villa versus Liverpool / Blackburn. Ties to be played 18th and 19th of February 2015. Nathan Arsenal said Wembley, and Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt, said Arsenal Liverpool final. Sexism in football, what is the best way to tackle the issue? Does football need better awareness campaigns and routes of education? Was a question we asked, and Andy Copeland has said yes, awareness and discussion is the key. He's also said, I would like to see a discussion on feminism in football. I feel that a lot of men of my generation, he's 38, have grown up being told they should support feminism, but not having the opportunity to discuss what it means for them, which often means they turn away from it. Plenty of questions to be asked and plenty of stories to be told. Like those opinions there. It's a very interesting one. And just to round out, Brad Hicks has said his goal of the week, Fabian Delph, player of the week, Matt Ritchie, team of the week, AFC Bournemouth, flop of the week, Aston Villa fans. I'm surprised no one actually mentioned that. But that's a good shout. You know what? It is one of them ones where it is time for us to start vacating the place with a haste. So we must say...
What about my flop of the week?
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samir Sonley, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Chelsea Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions and also pulls no punches. Of course, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Well, lemons, man, we've had a lot of fun today. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become fan, become friend, become member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we are working so hard to create. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Also, we're usually live on youtube.com/Pitch Talk and also mixler.com/Pitch-Talk as well. youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find all the videos, including Pitch Talk at the Capital One Cup Final 2015 as well. Also, twitter.com/Pitch Talk or @Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet of us, follow us, see what we're up to. Also, pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs by yours truly, Straight Shooting LJ, the G-Man and Chelsea Fizzle, and many others, including Russ Vernon, Mike Harniman, Dave Meir, aka @MeirC, who from next week will be bringing us an Airtricity Irish League roundup, so stick around for that one. Big shout outs to Finn White Line Magazine and Ian Kerr as well at Tweet White Line Magazine and FinnWhiteLineMagazine.com. Also, Mike Harniman has blogs for us as well, so it's fantastic. Also, remember, we have all our videos on YouTube. We got our podcast on TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker as well, and iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and also TuneIn Radio. That's where you can get all of our blogs too. So all of our podcasts. Oh my God, I'm all over the shop right now. Couple ran on the strike one, but you know what? We've had another roaring show this week, and we've had a lot of fun. Big shout outs to Jack Hinchon, aka @Hitman Hinchon on Twitter. Big shout outs to Big T, aka Thomas Huey. Big shout out to Ryan Sonley. Big shout outs to Mike Harniman, Jamie Bailey, Russ Vernon, Ian Kerr, who was with us earlier, Tom Wood, Kieran Riley too. So one of them was, of course, big shout outs to the G-Man too as well, who had to dash a touch early. You know what? It is one of them ones, baby. We have had a lot of fun in the show. Big shout outs to those on Facebook and Twitter who have given us their opinions as well. You know what? It is one of them ones. I have been Straight Shooting LJA.
I have been Jezzy Fizzle.
And we would like to say a final shout out to Girls on the Ball. www.girlsontheball.com, @girlsontheball on Twitter and Facebook.com/Girls on the Ball. From myself, Straight Shooting LJA, and
myself, Jezzy Fizzle,
we'd like to say thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.